Hello. I'm late today. I had more trouble getting out of bed than usual. Hi everybody. How we doing? I'm Eepy, not gonna lie. I've not been sleeping well this week. Hi Eepy, hi Shoddy, hi Stars. Who else have I missed? I saw Bwib in there. Sleepy is doing a self-care, which we greatly approve of. Shawnee was here super early. So, yes, let's escape to space. That seems like a good idea. So we're gonna finish this. I did a white layer for the cats on the back, so we did the front last time. I did mess with this a little bit off stream. Because I didn't like the texture I was getting from the craft paper. And I was like, well, the way you would do that with wood is you would sand it, right? And then paint another layer. So what I did was I took an emery board and sanded everything down and then added another layer. And I do think that it helped. I think this is a much nicer texture for the most part. So I did the thank you, BP, but I do want to stream today because I think it will help my brain. I appreciate the thought. And I do take breaks if I think that I need them. But so I did a white paint layer and then sanded that down with an emery board because I didn't have any other fine grained sandpaper. Is that the right use for the tool? No. Does it still work? Yes. So we're gonna color these guys. I did just put yesterday a little dot of color on here so that I remember which color is supposed to be which because I did already think through that. So yeah, that's what we're working on. What else do I have to say? Anything? I don't think so. I don't think I have anything else important to say. Nah, I don't think so. I don't know. I'm feeling like really frazzled and weird this week. I say that as if I'm not always kind of feeling like that, you know. But I mentioned this on my Tumblr and to a few people, but yesterday was my mom's birthday, so I have been in kind of a weird mental state. And the thing about my mom's birthday and April in general is that, so it's my mom's birthday, and then it's the day John died on the 14th, who was my best friend who passed away really suddenly. So it's like a whole bunch of shit to deal with mentally, all in the same spot. And there's other stuff going on too that are going to be like stressors for me, and it's just like, it's a lot. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm sad, but I'm fine. But it's just like, can I have a break? Can I stop? Can we stop? I don't need any more character development. Can we chill for a little bit, please? Please. You know? It's just like a lot. Yeah, exactly, Shawnee. I wanted to be a little social today on like my terms, you know? Cuz streaming, it is work. Like, this is like work for me, but it also is like a nice way to hang out in a space where if I want to talk about something, I can talk about something. If I don't want to talk about something, I can just say we're not talking about that right now, you know? So it's good for my noggin. So yeah, I was looking forward to streaming. I was just a little eepy today, that's all. Do you have anything else to say? I don't think so. I already asked myself that. Oh, I forgot to bring something out here to show you guys, actually. So we're all going to walk back to my room for a second so that I can show you something. Because I've been talking about it, but I have not showed it you. So I will show it you. Because I set it out and then didn't bring it with me. I can actually even grab the other colors of these that I wasn't thinking of. This color. I got boxes to organize all this stuff that you guys can't see yet. But I haven't gotten a chance to yet. Because again, I've been busy with all sorts of weird shit. Alright. So, I'm also gonna be careful to not dox my home address. So, you guys have heard me talk about how we're doing greeting cards. These are some of the greeting card envelopes that at least people who hang out in Tomato Stream know that I was working on, because I was embossing them during one of Tomato Streams the other day. Me organizing things. Yes, I do. I didn't bring the stickers out with me, except, well, I brought some out with me, but not all of them. Because I mentioned, sorry, tease, that I'm doing a greeting card, like a custom greeting card order, which was like the extra workload for last month, which is why I didn't get some of the things I wanted to get done, and why I was stressing about some other things and all that kind of stuff. But the order has gone to print. There's one of these cards that I'm correcting, so I sent them a different file, so it'll look a little different when it gets here. But these are the 3 that are going to be available in my shop soon. So we have the seal. You guys watched me paint the seal. We have the iris, which you guys know about because it gets talked about a lot. Then we have the moose. The moose is the one that's getting corrected because this is a little bit too dark. So I lightened the file a little bit and then sent it back to them, which is why it took a little longer. I think I mentioned that to you guys. But they also have pretty backs with little watercolor blobs that match the colors on the front. These 3 that are going to be available in my shop will have 2 different envelope color choices. So, hi Phil, it's good to see you. So the iris you can get with a dark purple envelope or yellow envelope, and then it will have a complimentary colored sticker to go with it. So the customer that I ordered these for picked the purple envelope when I gave them a choice, so it's going to come with one of my yellow stickers, and there's 3 different yellow ones. I took photos so that I could show the proofs to the customer. So if you get the purple envelope, you get one of these. I don't have the alternate colors out here, but for the yellow one, you'd get purple stickers. So we've got that one. And then we have our seal here. That's this one. Where you can get either a brown or light blue envelope to go with him. And if you get the blue envelope, which is what the customer chose, which is why I have the seal stickers in here. Get out of there. You're in the way. Got stuck. All right. And for these ones, you have like some brown sealant stickers. The brown envelope will have blue ones. You can see a pattern here. I basically picked 2 colors that I thought went with each card, and then went with the alternating sticker colors. The moose one, you can get either a bright green or you can get a blue. And customer chose blue, which means that you get green sealant stickers to go with that. If you get the green one, you get blue stickers. So those are the 3 that are going to be in my shop once the order arrives. The current estimate for when the order arrives is the 11th, and then I'll need to write listings and price stuff out and all that. But then those will be available in my shop. I do need to pack them as well, which I haven't fully figured out how I want to list them with the alternate envelope colors. I need to figure that out. But the customer also got 2 other card designs that I'm going to show you. These ones will not be available in my shop, so don't get your little hopes up. If there's like a huge interest for them, I could add some of them, but I don't think they're going to be as popular, which is why I didn't get the other ones. So wow, it's so dark today. Did my camera like get rid of my settings? What's going on? Was it just sunny last time? So dark. There we go. That's a little bit better. You can kind of see what's going on. That's close. That's better than it was. So there's a dark green envelope, and those ones have red stickers, which doesn't necessarily match this, but it's for a Christmas card. So I decided to go classic red and green for that one. So you guys remember this. It was a Patreon Sticker Club sticker for a bit, which I actually have one over here. So this one is one of the cards, not available unless people really want them. Hi, Toast! And then you have the back here. They're all blank on the inside. And I did choose a paper that's only glossy on one side, so it's a lot easier to write on the inside. Just because that's how I like my cards. I want to be able to use whatever pen I want on the inside and not worry about it smearing, you know? And then the other one, this one's really cute. You guys should prepare yourself. I also just dropped a sticker. Where'd it go? Nobody knows. Okay, so the last one is Birdie. That's Birdie. He's my dad's dog. That's a little painting I did of him. Isn't he so cute? He's just a little baby boy. And again, I didn't think that this one would sell super well. Like, it's a great painting, don't get me wrong. But, again, it's somebody's specific dog, and I feel like dog owners really want their dog if they're gonna send a card with a dog on it, you know? Legitimately, where did that sticker go? I saw it drop. It's gone forever. There it is, it flew. Right. But yeah, Birdie has a sweet little face. This is, I did this painting based off a photo I took of him where he was like half sleeping on my leg. And he's gotten very good at realizing when I'm taking a photo and posing for me. So, because if he poses pretty, I'll give him a little bit of cheese or something, you know. But I'm really pleased with how this one turned out. The original painting is like really small. It's like this big. I mean, Birdie will give himself over for any number of treats, honestly. Because he'll look at, if he hears a string cheese container, it doesn't even have to be opening. He just has to hear it. He'll zoom in and sleep on you like this. He's a good beggar. He begs very nice. But yeah, I have a lot of photos of him. I think I have a tag for him specifically on Tumblr. I think he's Bert the Wonder Dog, the Wonder Pup, something like that. So you could see other photos, many of which include him begging for things that are on my plate that I cannot feed him, including chocolate cookies, you know. He likes people food. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how this one turned out, honestly. I mean, all of them look great, but Bert's just so cute. How can you not love him? Oh, if you guys wanted to see the matching stickers with this one. So I also suggested an orange envelope for this, but we went with brown. So we've got the black and then the bright orange to match the Birdie colors. But yeah. 100% Shawnee. And to be fair, he does get fed a lot of things that dogs should not have. Not by me, but yeah. He's eaten a lot of pie crust because my dad likes making pies and his own pie crust. And so my dad gives him pie crust, and then we have to feed him pumpkin because he gets constipated from the pie crust. You know, just puppy things. But I do think this one is really cute. I might do some more, work on doing some more, like pet paintings and maybe make a set. Because I feel like if I was going to sell this as a greeting card, I'd want to do it as part of a set and not just a single. So I could do like a pet pack kind of a situation. So we might work on doing that. I have been wanting to do more, pet portraits just because that's a good standard commission to offer. But this one I did very, very small because I wasn't planning to sell it at all. It was just kind of like, how would this go if I did it? But it was perfect for this custom order. Um, but seriously, the original painting is like this big. Um, so thank you, Scanner, for this beauty. Um, I get to thank someone in specific from Tumblr for paying for the entirety of that scanner for me. It was very nice of her to do so. Um, but yeah, so you can look forward to some little Alaska greeting cards soon. And the iris, which isn't really an Alaska card, but it is. It's just like a nice classic greeting card style, you know. So depending on how these do, I might offer more greeting cards in the future, or they might go the way of the bookmarks, where I only order the ones that I want because they don't sell very well. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. Oh, I take so many photos. I have so many photos, especially of pets, because I like pets more than I like people, honestly. They're also easier to take photos of because they don't really care what you're doing, you know? Oh, I was also going to get a snack today, but then I didn't. I'll get up and get that at some point. Because even though I just ate my entire breakfast, I'm still hungry. I've been really hungry this week, and it's annoying. I hate eating. It's annoying to me. I would rather just not. But I have a few pets that are fun that I could do paintings of, I think. Um, that's fair, Shawnee. Yeah, so we had Jack, who I've talked about before, our kitty, we had for like 20 years. So I lived longer with that cat than I have lived without him at this point, still. Um, which is wild to think of. But I have a lot of photos of him. He was a very photogenic cat because he was black and white, long hair, so he was just very pretty. And then my grandma raised and bred dogs for a really long time when I was growing up, so I have a lot of photos of those dogs. And one in particular, an Irish setter, um, slept like she was a slinky, and so I have a lot of really funny photos of her with like her back legs up because she's like belly up sleeping, but her back legs are this way and her front is this way, so she just looks completely twisted up like a freaking pretzel, and it's so funny. Um, yeah, so I have a lot of good photos of that, and we had um, Duke and Henry, who were both dogs that we had, and then I had Wash, so I could even do, and Zoe, but Zoe didn't like her photo taken as much. Um, so I could even do like a bunny in there too, which would be nice. Include something that's a little different. Maybe I'll actually like properly write that idea down now that I'm like talking about it out loud. You know how it is. Let's just write it here. Pet card pack. Debbie is the name of the Irish setter. I'm just gonna write Twimpst as my note for which photo I wanted to do for that. Jack for sure. Wash, I have a few photos of. I have some good ones of Emily, who was one of my grandma's dogs, and of Summer, who was one of her cats. That was a black cat, so that would be a challenge to paint, I think, but I think I can manage it. I believe in myself. But I could also include other people's pets if they had good photos of them. Actually, I should talk to DB about her kitty. Because I could do that for her as a gift, because I know that she wanted one. Like a painting of the cat. I could also do Gideon, actually. I could do Cap's cat, too. Okay, there. We've considered. We thought about it. Okay. You see what I mean, though? Like, today, we sat down to do this. I'm just gonna talk for a half hour, which is not my usual shtick, honestly. Usually I get right to work. But it's just one of those days, man. one of those weeks, one of those months. I don't know. The planets are still in Gatorade until the 7th, I think, is what Rainbow said. So I'm blaming the Gatorade. Because there are like 3 planets in Gatorade right now, is what Rainbow was saying. So Pluto, which you can argue that that's not a planet, and Venus and Mercury all at once, which is kind of rude. Honestly, I don't think that should be allowed. Like, do I completely buy into all the astrology stuff? Not necessarily. Will I blame it when I'm not having a good time? Yes. Oh, also, somebody I know who you guys kind of also know, got some new stickers the other day. I don't know if they're up in her Ko-fi yet, but Doodles by Cadoodles got some new stickers that I saw on Instagram. She was doing like an unpackaging of the company stuff, and it's so cute. Exactly, Toast. Okay, so fun fact, that song was assigned as my theme song when I worked at a bookstore, because I was always such a rancid cunt in the mornings. It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked. Everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. You know, because some days just be like that. And I do know, like, the majority of the words to that, not gonna lie. It's one of those ones. So, I think this is maybe like an autism thing. I don't know for sure. But one of my things is that if I'm feeling an emotion that I like just don't have the energy to deal with, I put on music that does the emotion, and then the music is doing the emotion for me, so I don't have to think about it. I feel like that's probably autism coded. But one of the things that I do is when I'm really cranky, I will put on, you know, pissy music. And then the music is being pissy for me, so I don't have to think about it, you know? I do think that having done the other layer of paint and then sanding it down is helping with this texture. So I think that's the play in future. So we're learning, which is good. I will say I kind of didn't do great on that foot when I did it in white, though. Like, we're still getting a few fuzzies, but it's not near as bad. And I could just go, after this paint layer is done, I could go grab my emery board and redo it if I wanted to. Or, like, resand it. Because we'd done, like, I think 3 layers on the other side before I sanded those. And like, it did help some, but I think doing it at each stage in the process until I do the last one might be the call. We'll find out though. It's not near as bad as it was when we were just doing it straight on the paper like last time, so maybe we figured it out. Adam gets to be my little guinea pig, I guess, for these. Just because I had a really cute idea for him, you know. If I'm going to do a pet pack of greeting cards, watch me start overthinking this and turning it into a whole project, even though I'm not sure I want to do it. Oh, hi, Tens. I don't think I said hi, Tens. Did I? I don't know. Hi. Hi, Adam. I was just talking about you. Were your ears burning? What was I saying? I forgot. And then I got a notification on my phone and all my thoughts are gone. I don't know. She's gone. Oh, I remember. Never mind. I got there. If I'm gonna do a pet pack of greeting cards, I think I would make little paw prints for the ceiling stickers. That's what I was gonna say. And then I made fun of myself for like planning out a whole project when I'm not even sure I want to do it. I don't know. I'm in like my idea phase for a lot of stuff, even though I don't want to like work on stuff. So like coming up with ideas, easy, great, love it. Having to execute those ideas, torture. You know? So like I have a lot of great ideas for the color of the month this month, but I have not made any progress on actually getting us to a point where we can work on them. Like, I don't know. It's just work. Snom. We love Snom. We also love Adam, in case anybody was wondering. Yeah, okay. I think the sanding, like doing that base layer and then sanding made like a huge difference. So we've learned something today. Well, today. I worked on this yesterday. Ah, good toast. We love it when it's accurate. It also is pretty funny when it's inaccurate. We just love Snom. Snom can say whatever it wants to us, let's be real. Snom is just baby. I did make a small error on the front yesterday. I did something silly. I made a smear before the paint was dry because I was doing another step on a different part of the page and I forgot the reason I was doing it on the other part was to let the one bit dry. So there's a smear. It's fine. The good thing about having like the craft paper cover is that I could just shave some of it off. So it still looks messier than I would like, but we all know that I have ridiculously high standards for shit, so. Well, only when I do it. Everybody else is allowed to make mistakes, but it's illegal when I do it. And then I deserve to be hanged for my atrocities, you know. Let's do yellow next. I do think that I've been using this piece of like scratch paper to test the pens on, and I do think that this like scribble of all these colors is awesome. Like this would make a cool shirt pattern kind of thing, you know? Maybe we'll do some of that on purpose at some point. It very much reads like, I don't know, early 90s Taco Bell or something. Or like bowling alley Floyd, you know? Part of my family ran the local bowling alley where I grew up. So I ended up spending a lot of time at the bowling alley. Yes, exactly, Shadi. Exactly. Especially because that was like the era when like blacklight bowling became a thing. So you needed to have those like bright neon colors because it looked so good with the black lights, which was silly. Why did we do so much blacklight stuff? Like, yes, it looks cool, but also, ouch, my eyes. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you guys get the vibe. But that might be a cute little thing to do for like a sticker book is another thing that I would like to get going at some point. Hopefully this year, but we'll see. I need to like temper my expectations for over the summer because I'm having surgery in May. Like, I'm having an organ stolen out of my body, so I kind of need to be focused on healing and not push myself too hard. Which, like, there is a lot of work that I can do while I'm, like, resting and laying in bed, but also, perhaps I should just rest. even though I find that difficult. I don't know. I'm sure Cap will keep me under control, honestly. Because I'll be like, I just got up to do a little work, and then he'll yell at me. I say yell, he doesn't yell. I mean yell, I don't know. Metaphorically or something. Oh, I just connected in my head one of the reasons why I use the term yell for things that are not volume oriented. Well, that's something. Definitely are going to end up doing multiple layers on this because I did on the front too, so I want it to look more similar. I think with the white underneath too, I definitely need to do more colors or more layers so that you can't see the white through the color. Which I mean isn't an issue, I'm just stating steps, you know. How's everybody else doing? How's Tricks? What's happening? Got fun Friday plans? Fun weekend plans? We just trying to survive to next Friday? Tell me the haps. Oh yes, Shawnee. I'm excited about Borbos. I think that will be very fun. Maybe at break I'll go and grab the dice set that I'm planning to use so that you guys can see. I'm thinking really hard about scheduling stuff too. Because that I think is going to be difficult with the time zone spans we have. And everybody's like work schedules, so I'll get there. I just need to tinker a bit, I think. Because we've got some people in the middle that will probably be fine, but we have some extremes on either end as well. Oh, for people who don't know what I'm talking about, I guess I could actually explain. I put together a D&D game, so I got a bunch of people together to, well, a few of me and my friends, as many as the DM would allow to do a D&D game because Cap was missing playing D&D and it was making him sad, so I fixed it. There was one more person that I really wanted to invite, but like we ran out of spots. So because the DM is doing the campaign to me as like a favor, basically. Like it's a lot of extra work, and like she already has enough going on. But the first D&D campaign I did not particularly enjoy, so I probably wasn't ever going to play D&D again, honestly. But I will for Cap. And the fact that I got to put together the group and everything, I think helps a little bit. Because, like, I know everybody and it's not going to be the same as it was, so. Because I ended up, like, being the note taker for sessions, honestly, like, to the point that the DM was using my notes, too. It's just too much for me, honestly. But that won't happen with this one, so. Yeah, exactly, Adam. And I will say, Adam, you're the other person that I wanted to invite, but we ran out of slots. I'll just say that outright. Like, obviously, there's a million people I would invite, but that was like my short list, was the people who all said they wanted to, and Adam. Yeah, I figured you wouldn't take it as like a personal slight, but I was a little like, I want Adam here too about it. But yeah, I'll be excited about that. I've been cooking my character because since I was the person who was putting this all together, right? I've had longer to think about it than anybody else because nobody else knew that I was doing this, but I knew. I knew. So I've got a character mostly cooked, I think. Um, I got the vibes. I just need to finish figuring out what I want my tragic backstory to be because it's not D&D if your character doesn't have a tragic backstory, right? It doesn't count if you don't have capital T trauma. Like, I can't afford therapy, so I have to use D&D, right? So I just gotta decide which of my traumas to give to my character so that I can work them out with all my friends, right? That's how it works, I'm pretty sure. I am making this character, like, pretty significantly different from me on purpose. Because the first campaign I did, it was going to be like really early in the morning for me, so I had to wake up really early, and I wasn't like fully brain there all the time. So I made my character very similar to me. I always called it like me slightly to the left kind of a situation. So that was easier for me to play when I was really tired, but I'm more confident in my abilities to be a little weirdo now. Because I'm kind of, I don't know, I had a moment where I realized that part of the reason I always found acting easy is because I was always masking, which is just acting. Sorry if I just called anybody else out. You're welcome, I guess. But the reason that I never had trouble acting and didn't understand why people found it difficult was because I was acting literally 100% of the time in my daily life. So, yeah. Now that I know that, I can work with it. Play character equals masking. Yeah, exactly, Shawnee. It's like, oh. Because, like, I always explained it as, like, with characters, you just find the pieces that are similar to you and draw those pieces forward, right? So, like, I may not be an overtly jealous person or whatever, but I do have that in me. So I can just, like, bring that forward if the character experiences jealousy, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm realizing now that neurotypical people, when I explain that, always looked at me like it was magic. Because they aren't doing that in their daily lives. They aren't pulling whatever other people expect from them out of themselves so that they can see. Yep, same Shawnee. Never turns in her homework the light to have in class. That was me. And nobody was like, perhaps this bitch is neurodivergent. So instead, I just got to think I was broken my whole life, which is great. That doesn't leave you with any trauma whatsoever. Actually, maybe that's the kind of trauma I'll give my character. I can figure that out. I think perhaps I've solved what trauma I should give my character just now. I pretty much have only told my brother and Grim my full character concept. Although I do need to have like a contingency plan in case the way that I'm doing this is more difficult for Grim. Grim's our DM, in case I don't think I said that yet. Just to make that clear, Grim's the DM. And that's Grim. Hi, Grim. I was talking about you. Were your ears burning? I will do a stretchy. Ugh. It is, as always. You're really good at coming in when I'm talking about you, and you're really good at messaging me when I go to brush my teeth and don't have my phone. Um, Grim is extremely talented at that. Okay, I've done stretchy. I'm doing hydrate. Um, Compliment. What is my compliment today? I didn't pre-think this one because I was distracted by other brain haps. Hmm. Oh, you know what? I'm really good at making friends. How about that? That's a compliment. I did, I don't know if I told you guys this. I did make a friend with one of the students who's been in a number of the drawing classes that I've been modeling in. And, she's also an artist, obviously, so she's taking art classes. And is looking into, doing like markets and stuff, which I've also been doing, but I don't want to do it by myself because I want to have like somebody else I trust to run the booth with me, just so that like the person and me can both take like bathroom breaks without having to find somebody to watch our stuff, kind of a situation. And she said that she would be interested in running a booth with me. So that's good. And I made a friend. She wasn't sure if we were friends, so I just outright said we're friends now, by the way. Which is just very neurodivergent. Yeah, I know that you would be thrilled to be my booth babe, Shawnee, and I would be happy to do that because it would mean spending a bunch of time with you. But yeah, I'm good at making friends. I'm also good at telling people they're my friends now. Although I haven't done that to anybody who didn't actually want to be my friend, so at least not that I know of. But I do find that, especially with like neurodivergent people, we kind of don't always know where the friend line is, you know? So we aren't sure what's like regular social interaction and what's like, oh, this person wants to be my friend. This also applies to a lot of like romantic leanings where people just like don't realize that somebody's flirting with you. Um, it's a similar vibe. So I tend to just like tell people that I'm considering them a friend when I do, so that they know. It's like I also tend to think that I'm maybe too obvious when I'm being friendly with somebody, but not really. I've realized as people were like, "Oh, good." I wasn't sure, and I was like, "I've been talking to you nonstop for like 3 weeks. What are you talking about?" But it doesn't hurt to be clear, I think. Oh, we also, after I paint this, want to do some texture with some colored pencil. But I'm not sure we'll have time to get to that today. We'll see how it goes. Because I might end up doing that off stream. Because I do also need to like actually get going on the color of the month this month, and I also need to design and print the sticker for June for the sticker club. I have an idea. I sketched it out. I just need to like actually do it. Pretty quick, Shawnee. But since we're doing multiple layers, it'll take a little bit. But acrylic is known for being fast drying, which is why people use it for crafts a lot. I guess I haven't shown you guys. Did I show you the front when I messed with it? I think I did. I think I did show you that I messed with it and it's smoother now. yeah, there's a lot of tips and tricks for keeping acrylic wet so that you can keep working with it, because they do dry really fast, which makes it difficult if you're doing like fine painting, because it's hard to color match, versus oils or watercolors, where oils take forever to dry and watercolors you can just reactivate. I have so much to do this weekend. We've been having problems with some of our drains, so I bought an electric snake, like drain snake, to try and unclog some of our pipes. So I'd like to do that this weekend. I also need to finish cleaning my room because I have a little bit left. It's not like bad, but I would like to finish that. And I have a secret project to work on. And I have a semi-secret project to work on, which would be D&D stuff. Which, do I really need to do that right now? No, but my brain says that we should, so I'm just gonna go with it. Follow the dopamine, I need to get our next project sketched out. I think I know which one I want to do next, but getting the sketch solidified is going to be a task, I think. Because it's not something I usually work with. So I don't think I think it's something that I've never ever painted before, now that I think about it, so we'll see. But I'm thinking of another greeting card design. I told Shawnee about this already, actually. Shawnee is in the know. But the color of the month this month is magenta, which, come here, little magenta card. Magenta. It's a nice bright color, and I thought, what's something, I have a flower that I think I might do that would make another nice greeting card, and also a nice sticker. And then I have an idea for another greeting card that I think would be cute, which the colors don't match up exactly naturally, but I'm an artist, so I can do whatever I want, right? So I'm thinking two lovebirds kissing, and then their faces make a heart, so it can be a little like lovey-dovey greeting card. I think would be cute. I'm also considering making these card designs into postcards. If you follow my art blog on Tumblr, you saw me post a poll about it, and it's kind of hit a wider sphere than I was expecting. So people are thinking that I'm talking about like travel postcards, which is not what I'm asking about. So I don't know how useful the poll will end up being for me, but because I think postcards are like relatively easy to get printed and stuff, so that's easy on my side. But a lot of people will buy postcards because it's like a more available version of a print that's small, so you can hang it up on the wall, I'm considering that, but the reason that I would want to know if people would use it as an actual postcard or not is that if people just want them as mini prints, I can just make mini prints. Excuse me, I actually muted in time to sneeze, but you sure saw my my VTuber go. Or not VTuber, PNG tuber. Hi, Tomato! I've been sneezing a lot today. I'm mildly concerned I'm getting sick. I mean, it's also just breakup, so There's a lot of like various dust and things out. And I modeled twice this week and the students were closer to me, which means I'm still blowing charcoal out of my nose. Um, you know. Could be any number of things. Oh, I also started reading the new Hunger Games book last night. So, if you know me, you know that Hunger Games is like the hyperfixation for me always. Like, don't get me started talking about Hunger Games if you don't want to listen to me talk for 3 hours. Because I have feels and emotions and headcanons and historical knowledge of the Americas in which to put into that. But I started the new one last night. For those who don't know, it follows Haymitch's games. Haymitch Abernathy, who's the mentor that mentors Katniss and Peeta. And I'm only 2 chapters in, but I've already had like 3 different things that I read into the books confirmed. So I would just like to say that I win at English and theme stuff and knowing how the author wanted things to be read, and I'm really proud of myself. I'm hoping that the one, like, because I do think I just finished rereading Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which in the timeline is the first book in the timeline. I know, right? And you guys can't really stop me. So, strap in, babes. But I just finished reading Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which in the Hunger Games timeline is the first thing that happens. That one follows President Snow when he was a teenager. And there's a specific... I don't think it's a headcanon, honestly. I think that it is supported enough in the text that it is obvious that this is the thing that the author intended, but somebody would argue with me about that, I think. But, like, I'm right. And I really want it to be confirmed in this book. I don't think it will be, but I think there will be, like, I don't think it will outright be confirmed, but I do think that Suzanne is going to give me a couple more little bird seeds in a line to the trap, you know? So... Because I can tell you guys what I think if you want. This all will involve spoilers for Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It will not involve spoilers for the book that just came out. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and the Hunger Games, technically. But we can go into that if you guys don't care about spoilers. But I will calm myself if you do care about spoilers. Because even if you, like, I know they've been out for a while, but, like, still, I'll leave it for you. Hi, Matto. Good to see you. I'm ranting about the Hunger Games. Because the new book came out and I started it last night. But I'm really glad that I read through Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes again, even though I've read it enough times that I probably have it mostly memorized. Because, again, your girl is neurodivergent. And I latched onto the Hunger Games like, I don't know, an orphaned kitten being given a new mother. Yeah. Oh, I can say it. I just was giving everybody an opportunity just in case they did care about spoilers for that series, that they could, you know, jump ship or tell me, and I would chill. Yeah, so Suzanne Collins just came out with a new book, like middle of last month, and I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I did warn my Discord, like the Discord that Stars and I have, that once I started reading that, I would not shut up about it, because I'm obsessed with these fucking books. I'm just obsessed with it. It's such good world building, and it's so good. Because Suzanne Collins, like, she only writes a book when she has something specific to say. So whenever she puts out a new book, you know there's going to be something like just absolutely panning the United States for some bullshit they've been doing. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Um, but to give like this specific thing that I don't think is technically a headcanon, I think it's supported in the text, but again, people would argue with me. But in the book that follows President Snow when he was a teenager, like before he's president, he is a mentor in the 10th Hunger Games. And this is like really close after the war, so everybody who is in the story then knows the war, right? And is living through the aftermath of the war, which, as we know, in general, based on war, like diseases tend to make a reappearance, and especially bad diseases that we usually keep, as humanity, keep a close lid on when things are in order. So there's been a tuberculosis outbreak. And one of the kids who gets reaped from one of the districts has tuberculosis. Like, it's not outright stated exactly, but it is really clearly tuberculosis. And that character coughs into Snow's face more than once. Which, if you are prone to getting tuberculosis, is a good way to get tuberculosis. And those symptoms match up, the tuberculosis symptoms match up with the symptoms that Snow shows in the Hunger Games series when he's dealing with Katniss. One of the things that is regularly described is that he always smells like blood when he's talking. Like his mouth smells like blood, which is a sign of advanced tuberculosis. He's regularly coughing. There's one of the major scenes near the end of the book, and I won't give you the straight up spoilers about what happens there, but he does cough up blood multiple times near the end of the book. So I think that versus what the, popular theory in the book is that Coriolanus Snow, which would be Snow's first name, used a lot of poison and drank from the poison himself, and the antidotes don't always work and all that kind of stuff, so he has like this cough and sores inside of his mouth, which is why he smells like blood from the poison that he used. I don't think that's the case. I think that's a theory that he put out on purpose. And I think that he actually has advanced tuberculosis that they can't cure because it's too far gone. And I think that's what kills him. And I think that evidence is pretty clear in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes book. They also talk about in Katniss's era. I've been calling them eras in my notes in the book. Is that he is overly flushed. So Katniss thinks whoever does his makeup needs to calm down, and that's another sign of tuberculosis, and especially advanced tuberculosis. So I think he has tuberculosis, and I think that's what kills him. Yep. And I think that's really obvious in the text, but I know somebody would come in here and argue with me about it. But yeah. So I'm really hoping that we get another couple little hints in this book so that I can just be like, I told you. I already did figure out some stuff that I didn't really say out loud to anybody, so I can't prove it, But in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes book, we're introduced to a group of people who are basically wandering nomads. People would use a bad word for that, I think. Generally, that's kind of the vibe they get, so it's kind of like Romani based. And I was like, okay, well, this group of people, like, we see the invention of the Hanging Tree song that comes back in the Hunger Games trilogy, like the original trilogy. Okay, so these people are going to be related to Katniss's dad, because he's the one who was still spreading the song, and the song is outlawed at the end of the book. I was right. That came out in the first two chapters, and I was 100% right, and I was so pleased with myself. That's not a huge spoiler or anything. It's just like, aha, I know how to read a text. Yeah, I really like them. If you couldn't tell by me, like, going on about them for at least a half hour. Like, literally, the Hunger Games audiobooks are like my comfort book, which I know is fucked up. Don't. um, and I know exactly why. I've talked about it on Tumblr before too. But anytime I feel like I don't have control over my own life, I listen to the Hunger Games. I mean, to be fair, I listen to them a bunch anyway, even if that's not a specific thing. But I know that when I'm feeling like my life is out of my control, I listen to the Hunger Game books again. Um, Thank you, Sleepy. I think that was the general consensus in chat was like, oh, we'll listen to you talk about whatever, Katie. And I was like, okay, let's go. But yeah, that's hyper focus. Yeah. I also, my Blurbo from the first books, she's also in the Hunger Games to a lesser extent, but I have so many headcanons about my Blurbo. So many. So many. So if anybody wants to know what I think about Tigress Snow, because we know, so we don't have a huge amount of information on her in the in-between stages. So the book that just came out is in between the original Hunger Games series, time-wise, and the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which covers Snow as a teenager. So I think we're going to get a lot of like little puzzle pieces in here. So we'll see about that. But we do know that she was one of the designers for the Hunger Games and not for District 12. And I want to see if my headcanon is right. Thank you. Yeah, I think this is turning out really nicely. Which I'm glad for. Because it's always, like, if you're making something as a gift and it turns out kind of shitty, it's, like, the worst feeling in the world. If I'm making something for myself and it turns out shitty, that's whatever. But if I'm making something as a gift and it turns out shitty, I get angry. But I personally think that Tigress asked for District 8, which would be the textile district, because she is a clothing designer. Like, she was actually, like, that's what her apprenticeship was in during Snow's era. She was apprenticed to a designer. And so she's a huge fabric nerd, which is part of why I've, like, imprinted on her like an orphaned duck. Because I'm also a fabric person and textile person. So I think that she would want to work with the people who understood fabric. That's my headcanon, and I'm sticking to it. But we'll see. Because this would be, like, Haymitch's games are the 50th Hunger Games. The Hunger Games that were in the book that follows Snow was the 10th Hunger Games. And then Katniss's is the 74th and 75th. So this is, like, right smack dab in the middle where a lot of this stuff has been... A lot of the stuff that Snow implemented in the first books has been, like, completely solidified into the games at this point, to the point that a lot of people won't remember how the games were before. So I think we'll get to see a lot of that in-between stage, and it will give us a lot of stuff. But it also means that that's, like, smack dab in the era where Tigress is going to have been a designer for the games, and I'm really excited to see that. I love Tigress. She's great. I also have more heartbreaking headcanons for that, but you kind of need some more background knowledge on that for those to be heartbreaking. Yeah, the books are way better than the movies. I will say the original trilogy movies I do enjoy, and I think they're good. I think they got a lot of, like, the flavor of the book correct, but they do take the teeth out of it by a lot, which is not a surprise. But like all of Suzanne Collins' books for this series are very anti-government and I guess rebellious is a way to put it. Yeah, I'm really glad that I got stuck with this one, honestly. To be fair, I had a smaller hyperfixation on Five Nights at Freddy's, which, like, is great proof that we do not pick the hyperfixation. Because that was so dumb. It's so stupid. It's all so stupid. It's just stupid. It's not good source material. But I still delved into that hardcore for a while. But yeah, if I was gonna get, I don't know, stuck with isn't really the right word, but if I was gonna get stuck with a hyper focus, I think Hunger Games is pretty good because it's got a lot of meat on it, you know, so I can keep picking at it. Versus Five Nights at Freddy's, which I ran through for about, I don't know, 6 months maybe, and then I was done with. And I haven't gone back to it. So, Hunger Games I've been going through since the books came out. And just, like, stuck on there forever. But yeah, all of them are very, they're political and not in, like, a holds the punches ways. But the movies kind of cut a lot of that out for obvious reasons. I think also since they're American movies and part of the series is set in America after, you know, um, after it becomes a dystopia. That isn't really the right way to say that because we are a dystopia already. And I think you know what I mean once it hits classic dystopia. Versus whatever the fuck this is. But since the US military gets say in literally any movie that depicts military forces in the US, it's not going to be as good because it is very critical of military forces. Yeah, exactly, Sleepy. But I would suggest reading the books. They are, I think, relatively easy reads, like word-wise. They are pretty emotional at sometimes, so you expect to cry. I read them originally back when I was also emotionally constipated for safety reasons, and I still cried multiple times reading these books. Suzanne Collins does a great job of making you feel it, you know? And I won't tell you which bits you'll cry at, because if you haven't read them, yeah. Yeah, they're intense. Yeah, I remember Liv and I talking a bit about this Ballad of Songbirds and Snake movie, which I got maybe 20 minutes into and I couldn't do anymore because they removed so many of the teeth from the book that it just wasn't the same thing anymore, and it didn't have even remotely the same message. Also, nothing looked the way I wanted it to look. It was all too empty and pretty. Yeah, it really, like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't get farther than that in them. In the movie. And really they shouldn't have done it all as one movie. It's split perfectly to be 2 movies. And they could have made more money that way and done more justice to the books. But alas, this is the era we live in. Yeah, I think it would only be palatable if you hadn't read the book or read the book and didn't like it. It was rushed. It was 100% rushed. And I can understand why, because the book itself also feels a little bit that way. There's a lot to this book. Like, it's very big and very long. And really, again, like I said, you could split this into 2 or 3 books. But Suzanne had something to say, and she was going to say it. Which, respect. But yeah, the point at which I said I can't do this anymore to the movie, like, aside from the fact that, okay, We're gonna get into this right now, I guess. You activated my trap card or something. One, they turned the major villain, like the one really big evil person in the book, black in the movie. And even though that actress is a great actress and a great choice, the only visible black person in that movie was the evil villain, which is not a good look in this day and age. Like, you're smarter than that, especially since the book series as a whole works very hard to humanize black people, and puts them in the same class as the rest of the working class, which is really important historically for America and in the book itself, because Suzanne understands that importance in American history, which is why the books are so good. So not a great look. Also, one of the major changes is that this is a mild spoiler, but I don't think it will really change your enjoyment of the book. One of the tributes for the Hunger Games in that book contracts rabies in the Capitol, because of the way the tributes are being held. And one of the plot points of that book is that people are scared that he brought rabies from the districts because they view the districts as dirty and gross, right? That's like a whole point. Even though the Capitol had a large outbreak of rabies during the war, which again is like tuberculosis, is one of those pretty common things that when you have other things to do and you aren't focused on like vaccinating your pets and stuff like that, or keeping the city clean because you're all trying to stay alive, rabies tends to run a little rampant. In the movie, they changed it so that he had it when he came from the district. So at that point, I was like, I cannot do this. Because the whole point of that is to challenge the Capitol residents' view of their own cleanliness and elevated status, right? And so they didn't do that. And that's like a huge shift in the entire narrative that just proved to me that they weren't actually going to do any of the plot points in this book justice. And I was just like, I'm out. And I closed it. I closed the movie and I was like, can I return this if I watch this much of it? And I couldn't, but you know, it was bad. I do feel bad for the actress they chose for Lucy Baird because she was really good. Even though they had her talking way too fast because they didn't have enough time to put all the plot points in. So like everything was going way too fast. They really needed to spend more time on it and, you know, actually take any of the points of the book and do them correctly. But, you know. But yeah, the whole point of that book is how easy it is for people to separate themselves from the issue so hard that they turn into fascists. That's the whole point of the book, and they fucked it. They were just like, oh, it's very similar to how in the original, when the original Hunger Games movies were coming out, basically every single interview with any of the characters was like, are you Team Gale or Team Peeta? Completely going the same exact way that the criticism in the book was, right? So they just didn't get it. It's like you're proving the point. You're proving the point. Who's getting blamed for Snow White's failure? I don't know. Oh, gotcha. That's stupid. That's not her fault. She's a good actress, like, clearly from, like, again, I only saw a little bit, but she would have done really well if she, you know, had an actual decent director and a good script to work with, which she didn't. So, I do feel bad for her. Because, like, I don't know, a lot of actors and actresses, like, trying to become a thing right now are just, like, There's nothing good for them to work with. So what are they gonna do? Like, we've got AI scripts and remakes and nothing original, and you know, I feel bad for them. It's not their fault. And I think she's definitely going to end up being a victim of that. It's also interesting to cast her as Snow White, actually. I didn't realize she was. I kind of ignore the Disney remakes at all. Like, but she is a person of color, even if she is, you know, relatively light-skinned. So that could have been a bold choice for Snow White, and you could have played into that, but I'm sure that's not the way they did it. You could have made a statement, but I'm sure they didn't, because that's too scary. Heaven forbid we do anything interesting. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's fair. And I'm not shocked. I did think it was a good choice to cast someone of color for Lucy Baird. I was worried they weren't going to do that. Because, like, I still remember, I don't know, if people were around and paying vague amount of attention when the Hunger Games movies came out, a lot of bigots were big mad that they cast Rue as a girl of color, even though that's literally how she's described in the book, because they all in their heads imagined her as a little white girl, and that was the only way they could feel tenderness towards that character, even though it was literally an 11-year-old who got sent to her death. Like, all right, just tell on yourself. Yeah, it was really stupid. And again, this plays into people's lack of knowledge about American history, because people were for a long time arguing about the different districts and how it was inappropriate for them to be basically segregated, which it isn't actually. That's how the U.S. has been built. And if you pay attention to U.S. history, then you would get what Suzanne Collins was laying down there, but alas. Right? I don't understand why. Although I will say there was a character that in my head I thought was a person of color and ended up not being one. And I think, like, I realized that when the movies came out, and I was like, I imagine this character as a person of color, and she wasn't. And I was like, why did I assume that in my head? And, like, there's one line that I think was what I latched onto for that. But also I think the character's personality kind of falls into line with a stereotypical angry black woman, and I had to, like, sit with myself for a bit and pick apart why I thought that. I was like, oh, I think I did an accidental racism. All right, that's a bias. Let's confront that right now and deal with it so that we can be a better person and not do that again. Because, like, oof. Okay, I think the texture on these isn't too bad, so I don't think we need to sand them again. But I will show you the other side while these are dry for right now, because I did at the beginning of stream, but... Yeah, little kitties! So we'll be adding some dots like this to the back too once we get the cats sorted. But yeah. I considered doing something on the spine, but I think leaving it blank is probably the better answer. Maybe I'll put like a tiny little paw print at the bottom or something. But I think leaving it so that Adam can label it is probably the better choice. E. I don't need to take progress pics on this one, Shawnee. I'm kind of just flying, but thank you for reminding me. Mm-hmm. I really like the way colors look on the craft paper. And this is I do have like nice, this is a scratch piece from it, but I do have like actual nice craft paper that's really nice to do colored pencil on. When I got, because I got a sample set of all of the Legion papers, which is a company, Legion. And I was looking up like reviews of the various papers to see what people had been using them for. And I will never forget the first review I saw for the craft paper was, I think I still have it screenshotted somewhere maybe, but it was, if it was legal to marry a paper, I would marry this paper. And I was like, all right, get it. And once I started coloring on it with colored pencil, which is what the reviewer was their main art thing, I understood. Cause yeah, everything blends so nice on this paper. It's gorgeous. That's actually the for anybody who has my citrus mushroom sticker, that's the paper that that was drawn on. I will never forget that. It was so funny. But yeah, you guys can expect more random Hunger Games rants from me in the Discord. And maybe I should just attack Child and be like, we need to talk headcanons right now. Because I don't know anybody else who is as into it as me, which I'm not expecting people to be as into it as me. But the fandom on Tumblr is kind of dead. Like, I haven't run into anybody talking about it at all in a while. Although I do have people on Tumblr who will always tag me if they see like a literary analysis post about Hunger Games, because they're like, Katie will have opinions on this. And I'm like, you're right, I do. Ah, good stars. It probably was like when the book first came out, because I took a little bit getting to it. Because, like I said, I think it came out on the 15th of last month. And it's not a super long book, so people probably blasted it through it pretty fast. But I needed to wait for the reading stars to be aligned. Because when it came out, I was reading a library book, and then I had another library book. And I didn't want to read it while I was modeling, because I want to be able to give it my full attention and make faces at it. That's fair, Tomato. I've been reading a lot lately. I guess more than lately. A couple years ago, because I do, instead of like classic New Year's resolutions, I do commitments to change, I guess, in a way that most people don't do New Year's resolutions. So I say I'm going to add X thing into my life more. So one year I did like I want to play more indie games, and so I did that, and I still play more indie games. And one year it was like I want to read more books, so I read more books, and I was still reading more books, kind of a thing. Last year was I want to take more photos of myself, and I did. I didn't make one this year, I think. I really just was like, I'm gonna get my hysterectomy handled, and guess what? We did it. But yeah, I've been reading like a lot. If anybody's on Goodreads, I can add you so you can see the random shit I've been reading. Although it won't show you when I reread shit, which is one thing I don't particularly like about Goodreads. It doesn't understand that I need to reread the same thing 35 times. Like, it doesn't get it. Yes, uterus, that's what we're doing. Uterus, uterus, get the fuck out of me. And then a surgeon waves her magic wand, and it is yeeted out of me. Although really, it's not a magic wand. I haven't warned any of the teachers I model with that I'm gonna have more scars when I come back after break. I kind of want to see if they say anything. Yeah, I do find that I will say outright that I also include audiobooks as reading. And I find that listening to an audiobook while I'm playing a video game or like doing a craft or drawing or something is a really nice way to do the focus thing in a way that also lets you read. Because like I think a big problem is that you can't keep your hands busy. So like I know when I'm reading an actual book, I have a really bad problem with skin picking. Um, because I need something for my hands to do. Which is why I now have little stim toys next to my bed. Yeah. So I like Sticky Business is a good game to play while you're listening to an audiobook. I do Dredge I did a lot of when I was listening to an audiobook, stuff like that. Yeah, that's very sleepy. I will say, I know that I gifted Sleepy this book, but Joy Tomorrow's book is what got me back into feeling like I could read again. Because of the way she formatted it, it's very ADHD friendly. And she did that on purpose because she also has ADHD. But I was able to read that book, like, I do. It should just be !joy. If I'm remembering correctly. Yeah. We can put Joy in twice. She deserves it. But she formatted it in a way that was very accessible. Because we've talked about this before, but I had a really bad depression slump. I didn't read, I didn't do anything for a very long time, like to the point that my muscles atrophied, and it really messed with my brain, which, like, yeah, it's almost like if your brain is trying to kill you, your brain doesn't really focus on anything correctly. So it really killed my, like, reading focus, even though I've always been, like, an avid reader. So getting back into reading was really hard for me, and Joy's book did that for me. And part of that was just she's a good writer, and so it's fun to read. And part of that was definitely the formatting changes. Because Justified formatting, which is where they split words on the edges so that all of the margins are the exact same width, is really hard to follow for a lot of neurodivergent people. And so she doesn't have that. It's not like a nice margin, but all of the words are like actual whole words, so it's easier to follow. Oh, yeah, go get a stretch, Shawnee. I need to do that too, Tens, get back into writing. Because I have a story half finished that I would like to finish. But I wasn't sure what the ending was going to be for a while, because I was like, I'm processing things through writing this piece, right?
This is a self-care checkpoint. Do you need to take meds?
Checkpoint.
Get some water, some food, take a break or a stretch? Please do so now. Thank you.
But I was in the middle of what I was trying to process, and so I wasn't sure how I needed to end it. But that's done, so I think that I could probably get back to it at some point if I could find the time. But this was actually a part of my character development for the original D&D campaign that I played. And that ended up no longer being relevant because we got ghosted by one of the players. So I just kept doing it for me. And yeah, because my original D&D character was named Finn. And he was a gnome who was apprenticed to a library, like a archivist, in her community, and she accidentally set the library on fire. And so she had to leave the gnome sphere to go and collect new books so that she could continue her mentorship. Because that was the only way the librarian agreed to continue to deal with her. And so she was like super obsessed with fairy tales. And part of the reason that she was obsessed with fairy tales was because I was playing her as Arrow Ace. So she liked fairy tales because they were very formulaic about romance and love, so she could understand it better, basically. And so she was rewriting a classic fairy tale for the other person in the group who she'd made really good friends with, the way that her mom used to tell it to her, which was different than like the original telling. And while I was in the middle of doing that, the other character's runner, ditched us and never talked to us again. So that never happened. But I kept rewriting the fairy tale anyway, and it's kind of a good thing that it didn't end up needing to be for the D&D campaign because I made it way longer. So I was rewriting the Seven Swans, which was one of my favorite fairy tales when I was a kid. But I wanted to rewrite it to be like less misogynistic, and since the most popular version of that is from Grimm, like Grimm's fairy tales, that involves a fair amount of work. Because they did not like women very much. So I was working on that, and it ended up like being an actual story. So like a full story. So the original fairy tale is like 2,000 words. I think the last time I counted, and like the last time I worked on it, I was at like 23,000 words. I wrote a novella on accident. And it's not done yet. Like, I'm near the end, but it's not fully completed yet. Whoops. Oops, I made a book. But I would like to get back to that at some point. But there's, like, some mom drama in it that I wasn't sure how I wanted to finish. So... because I was processing some things. I was just like, this story is getting all of my bullshit in it. Let's go. It's really, like, there isn't really a moral of the fairy tale in the Grimm version other than be selfless and suffer if you're a woman. And we don't play that game. So, like, the moral of mine is learning to love yourself even in the midst of abuse, basically. Which I'm sure shocks everybody who knows me that I would write something like that. But I would like to get back to it. I just, like, haven't had the time. And I have a problem, like, whenever I'm editing something or when I start writing again after a while, I will just reread the entire thing that I've written already, which, like, yes, then I know what's going on, but also it takes a while to read and I get distracted by my own writing and editing things, you know? So nice tens. Yeah, see, it's not a problem for, like, the end product. It is a problem because it takes me forever. But I would like to, like, finish that at some point. We did a while back in 2023, which I don't think all of you were here for that. We did do a header image for that whenever I get around to it. To, like, actually finishing it. For Stream Ink. Let's see if I can find it. It should be in here. So many random pieces of art. Yeah, Yeah, that's hard to do for sure, Tens. Like figuring out all the little bits. Here it is. I'm not going to set it on the wet paint. I'm not. I'm not going to. But we did this, which is a little bright there. But yeah. So this is going to be the header image on it whenever I get that finished. Thank you. Yeah, I do. I know that I've asked for beta readers like a couple times when I thought that I was close to finishing this over the years because I've been working on this for a long time. Um, but a lot of those people I don't talk to anymore who agreed to do it. So once I get there, we'll see if I can find some beta readers. That was just looking a little grungy and I fixed it. Thank you. They are, for those who don't know the Seven Swans, basically the original version, the evil stepmother turns the king's 7 sons into swans, like she curses them. And so those would be the 7 brothers. So they have to be swans for like almost all the time, and then they get to be human for an hour a day. Good, Tens. Gotta be careful with that government name. But yeah, so I've kind of changed it completely. So it centers around, because I didn't want to do like the evil stepmother trope kind of a thing, because that's misogynistic and grody. So I did something a little different. There is an evil mother, kind of, but not the same flavor. She's not a bad person because she's a woman. She's a bad person because she's abusive. You know, there's a difference. Yeah, if you want to share, you're welcome to, Tens, but I also understand if you don't want to put that in a Twitch chat. Yeah, go for it, Tens. I'm fine with that. Thank you for asking. Yeah, these are a little textured, but not like super bad. So maybe I'll finish this second layer and then sand them and do a third layer off stream, maybe. Because I don't know how much longer I want to be live, because I am hungry. And I do need to figure out what to eat for lunch, so. Don't mind me while I save that link. I want to see. Let's see, I haven't done pink and I haven't done yellow. I haven't done aqua. Let's do that. I may sand these down off stream. I don't know. It's a good project to like, this one in specific is a good one to like just kind of do in between other stuff because I need to let bits dry. So I can just like do a little bit and then go and do a different task that I need to do. Oh, that reminds me, I meant to start laundry this morning and I didn't, which is fine. I realized the other night, you guys can just have my whole train of thought right now for free. But I realized the other night, because I sleep with a weighted blanket that's pretty heavy. Like I have a 30-pound weighted blanket because your girl has anxiety and nightmares and it helps. Not exactly sleepy. So part of it was just that I had like I'm gonna use this phrasing on purpose, and if you guys don't make a dirty joke, I'm gonna be disappointed in you, okay? It turned out that my load was too big, and so it was clogging the hole. So I need to be careful about how much stuff I put into the washer, but also we think we have a bit of a clog in one of the plumbing spots because we've been having issues with plumbing in this house like since we moved in. So I bought a motorized drain snake that we're gonna send through that puppy and hopefully fix it. So that should take care of it on both sides. Oh no, I don't wash the weighted blanket. That will destroy your washer and your dryer. Don't do that. But I realized that I'm not going to be able to sleep with my weighted blanket after I have surgery because it's so heavy. And I'm not allowed to lift anything over 5 pounds for like a month. So I'm going to need to get used to not sleeping with that. So I was going to wash my like backup comforters so that I could put them on the bed to get used to it. Yeah, I told Cap that last night where I was like, I realized that I'm gonna need to do this, and he's like, well, you just need to have Brother Bean tuck you in every night. But see, the problem is that because it's that heavy, if I roll over in my sleep, that will technically be lifting that much weight. So it's not a good call. But I do also tend to have more nightmares the first couple nights that I sleep without a weighted blanket, so I figure I'll get that out of the way now so that I'm not also dealing with that when I'm on drugs for the surgery. Yeah, mine, I have duvet covers for mine. So I have one that's like fuzzy and gray, which if you've ever seen my product photos, you've seen my duvet cover because I use it as a background because it's like the perfect mid-gray to make like a nice photo. But yeah, I'm gonna need to get used to sleeping without that for a bit. So I was gonna wash my comforters today. Although I could use like the guest comforter, which is also really nice, but it's gonna be like it's gonna start getting warm by the time I'm healing up, so I think using the lighter ones that I use sometimes will be good. I think that's the right call. I don't think that's a good bedtime activity for me. I have the odd feeling that will distract me and keep me from sleeping. Just a guess. I have been reading a book about the history of coal before bed, before I like started the Hunger Games one, which was not a great idea to start last night, I'm not gonna lie. I had to physically like get up and move my iPad away from me so that I wouldn't keep reading. Like I went and hid it in my closet so that I wouldn't grab it again and keep reading. So I was like, I need to go to bed. I need to get up early. But I'll have more time to read it over the weekend. And like I said, it's not a super long book, so I should be able to like blast that out and then immediately reread it, you know. That's perfect. I love that. Comes and looks at us over his glasses like, aren't you supposed to be in bed? We are in bed. You know what I mean. You're supposed to be sleeping. You know. Classic brat behavior. Perfect. Although real ones know that you don't turn off the flashlight if you hear the door open. You leave it exactly where it is, because if you change it suddenly, then they can tell you're awake. If you don't change it and they come to look, you can pretend that you fell asleep with it on. Just throwing that out there. Pro tips. Yep, exactly. Like, I did stay up to read for a little bit, but I fell asleep. Oh no. See, I'm sleeping. I'm not in trouble. That's great. We love an idea book. Oh, I need to do pink still. I was like, why does this not look right? Because that. Let's do things in the right steps. In the right steps, in the right order. The steps in the right order. I can speak, don't worry about it. My brain has really, like, not been online as much as I would like lately. And I know why. It's because I switched my meds. But so my brain is, like, readjusting to what chemicals are in there. But, like, also, can we not? Yeah, exactly, Sleepy. You gotta keep consistent. Otherwise, they know. It's kind of like to be a good liar, you have to be consistent because you need to remember what your lie was. And the best way to remember what your lie was is to base it in some sort of truth. Like, and yes, I learned this at a very young age, and yes, it was not because of good reasons. Okay, like, it's almost like I had an undiagnosed mental disorder or something. Yeah. Yeah. It takes some work, but you can get there. I'm a lot better about it than I used to be, but I still sometimes when, like, I don't know, I get the you're in trouble voice, or what I read as you're in trouble voice, I'll immediately start lying, and I need to, like, backtrack and be like, no, actually, that was a trauma response. You don't deserve to deal with that person who just did that. All right, safe travels, Tens. I'm trying to decide how much longer I want to go. And the answer is I don't know. There's a fuzzy. Get off of there. The reason I say I don't know how much longer I want to go is that I should take a break if I'm going to go longer. But if I'm not going to go longer, then I shouldn't take a break. I mean, not that I shouldn't take a break. I won't take a break if I'm not going to go much longer. But we do still have a fair amount of work to do on this, so maybe I will just take a break and then we can keep trucking. I'll go get my little snack that I meant to have the whole time. Because I am still hungry. So. Yep, I know, Shawnee, I know. I'll finish this cat and then I'll get up and go take a break. I'm glad we're getting use out of that. I thought it would be so funny. I was so pleased with myself when I thought of it. I'm glad Tomato is willing to go a little bit off model for the little please, guys. To be fair, I did also pay Tomato extra for that, and for helping with character design. But Tomato killed it. I should actually add Tomato's Ko-fi to his command. Now I think about it. I can do that. Well, I'm thinking about it. Otherwise, I will forgore. I mean, I might forgore anyway, let's be real. Going from here to the tab. I still need to do the aqua, another layer of the aqua, so I'll do that. Maybe I'll also get the emery board I was using when I get up, because we can let these dry a little bit more and then sand them down again. Perfect. Thanks, guys. We support our friends here. Also, you should all commission Doodlebee too, but also Tomato. They're both very good. Highly recommend. Have worked with both of them. Excellent. Edit this. Alright, that should be updated now. Thank you, Shani. Alright, I'm gonna get up and take a break, which means I'm gonna run some ads. Don't look at them. We don't like capitalism here. Like, I have to participate, but that doesn't mean we can't be brats about it, right? So, I'm gonna run 3 minutes of ads. I'm gonna get up and like refill my water and do a little stretchy and run to the bathroom and stuff. You should take a break with me. And you can get up and get a little stretchy or a little snacky or a little drinky or refill your water or go look at something that's further away from your face than your computer. You could look outside the window and see if you can see a little creature, because then you can report back to us and tell us what little creature you saw. And we'll be back and continue working on this sucker. All right. Thanks for sticking with me for that longer break there. I had a lot of things to wander around and do. My brain just stopped. I also got a little snacky, which is not that interesting, I think, but as far as snacks go, I grabbed a protein bar. Because I think part of the reason I've been so hungry is because we haven't been eating as much protein because it's expensive, so I will eat some protein. I don't have a favorite. I'll eat whatever. These are ones that my brother got, and he said that I can have some. So this is a True Bar PB&J flavor. The texture is interesting. Like, interesting good. Oh, that's fine. I do really like protein bars that are pretending to be decadent chocolate. And that's not because they are decadent chocolate, but they all have like a really specific texture that I like. See, I'm not a big fan of PB&Js. I don't like jelly in them. I just want to eat the peanut butter. I don't think this really tastes like a PB&J. I think it mostly tastes like peanut butter. I don't think it's bad, though. It is very protein bar texture, which I like, but might be a turn off for other people. I do like me some weird specific textures. Perfect, Sleepy. You can have all my jam and jelly. I will occasionally have specifically Smucker's strawberry preserves on a piece of buttered toast. And that's pretty much it for jelly. I don't know. I'd rather just have the fruit. Like the unadulterated fruit. I want some tart to it, you know? I need foods that match me. I need tart and I need salty. You know. I love that I couldn't even finish my own joke without giggling at myself. But it's true. Yeah, that's totally fair, Sleepy. Raspberries are on their own timer. Like, I don't think even God knows when they're actually going to be good. Same with pears. I don't particularly like pears. I love raspberries, though. But I think pears and raspberries, like, have their own little time bubble. Honestly. I want raspberries. They're even worse up here for when they go bad because they have to get shipped so far. So, like, you have maybe half a day. Oh, yeah, 100% Sleepy. Raspberries are one of those foods where you just sit in the middle of the kitchen like a gremlin and shove them all in your face as fast as possible. For real, Shawnee. They also detect plans. So if you go, oh, I have those raspberries, I could make scones tomorrow. They know. And they don't want to be scones. They don't want to be anything. And so they will immediately mold so that you can't use any of them. They have their own plans. And they do not involve you. Oh, interesting, Sleepy. See, I only like green grapes. I never liked the red ones. Which is why my brother and I tried the grape flavor Olipop recently. And it's really just like fizzy grape juice, honestly, which is fine. But I was drinking it and I was like, this makes me think of communion because I think the only time I ever willingly had grape juice was when we did communion at church. To be fair, that was not necessarily willing all the time either. That was more like social peer pressure. But oh no, Shawnee, I hate that. But I was like I don't mind the drink, but I really we never had like grape juice in the house because I didn't like it. And so my brother was like, "Oh yeah, I guess you haven't had grape juice much, have you?" Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure Felds. We had a huge overgrown blackberry bush in our backyard when I was growing up. And like we sometimes would get into the kick where we would, drag a bunch of them in and make cobbler or whatever. Usually crisp actually. But yeah, it doesn't compare. For sure. Like, don't get me wrong, store-bought berry is better than no berry, but it will never hit the same. Sleepy. I'm visiting you during raspberry season. Understood. There are a few places, like one of my coworkers at one point had a raspberry bush in his backyard that he would let me go and pull raspberries from, but they are up here. They're just like specific places, and I don't really bother going out foraging and stuff, We've got a lot of like wild blueberries and stuff here too, and like cranberries and stuff, but I don't want to hike, I guess is the problem. That's fair, Sleepy. Yes, frozen raspberries, they do change texture, but it's so good. Yes, 100% agree. I think I've mentioned this before, but my first like real job, quote unquote, was at a frozen custard place, and the guy who opened it made a mistake of letting all of his teenage workers eat whatever they wanted for free. And what I did was I ate him out of house and home in just frozen raspberries. Because I would just have like a cup of frozen raspberries sitting there so that they would slowly thaw throughout my shift so I could eat them at all the different textures. Because, yeah, frozen raspberries, good textures. I do like quite a lot of things that are just frozen for texture. Like, I like eating just frozen corn kernels, also, good texture. I used to do that a lot, like when my mom would make Brussels sprouts or something, another veg that I didn't like, I just got to eat frozen corn kernels instead. Lovely, Sleepy. I'm sorry you had an abscess, though. That sucks. I very confidently just slapped that dot down in the wrong place. It's fine. Figuring out where the edges of these pens are has been interesting, because they are pretty thick nibs. There it is. I was like, where did I put the lid for this? Okay, gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna file that a little bit with my little emery board. This is what I've been using to file everything down. It's just an emery board, because I had like a pack of them, and this was like the finer grit sandpaper, because like emery boards are just sandpaper, like so I've just been using that and using it like a little, I don't know, like one of those stupid little skateboards. Oh, that's a mood, Sleepy. Oh, also, I guess I could tell you guys that Sleepy and I have planned another collab. We aren't doing like a big hoop-de-doo like the last one, but we'll be hanging out on the 19th together. On Sleepy stream. Because my boyfriend's gonna be busy and I'm gonna be sad and lonely, so I'm using Sleepy. I'm totally down with that, Sleepy. I'm always down for some sticky business. So yeah, you guys are all going to be a cap substitute. That's how it's gonna go. God, my glasses are filthy, and I don't know why. If you play your cards right, Shawnee, you're always a sticky bottom. Okay, I think I've figured out in my brain how to make a butt sticker, so we can do that. Actually, Sleepy. I just figured out in my brain what shapes I would use. Because I do like crazy complicated sticker designs. And by that, I mean I don't use the pre-made things. I use shapes to make whatever the fuck I want. I mean, I do also use some of the pre-made stuff, but I haven't made a butt sticker, but I think I just figured out in my head how to do that. So, yeah, I can definitely be your intrepid guide there. And I can probably just play on my Steam Deck on the side because I haven't finished all the storylines for the DLC that I have yet. So, there's a lot that you'll really like, Sleepy. Like, I'm sure you saw with... I didn't see how far Matto got yesterday in general, but... Yesterday? Yes, yesterday. This week has not felt correct at any point in time. Like, none of the days have been the right day. You know? And I think that's just because I worked on Monday and Wednesday, where I usually only work on Mondays. But yeah, that's a good idea, Sleepy. And if it doesn't go on sale, I'll just buy it for you, honestly. Because I'm very much a believer in our hyper-focus. No, see, I need to drag you down with me, Sleepy. You think that this is a kindness, but it isn't. It was the same with Dredge, honestly. Because I was considering starting a new play file in Dredge, and you were like, I think I should play Dredge. And then I was like, oh, here, I'll buy this for you, you stream it, and I'll watch you play. And then I'll get my fix without having to do any of the work. I really should bring a nice microfiber cloth out here to clean my glasses if I keep wearing them, because these are filthy. Hi Aria! The glasses I got are like way bigger than the other ones. Well, I got two, but these are like way bigger lenses than I'm used to having, so I keep hitting my face and getting little dirty fingerprints all over them. So I really should start carrying around a microfiber cloth to get them clean. They also have the like blue light filter on them, which is good for working at the computer, but it's not necessarily good for doing art. So I need to remember that what I'm seeing when I'm doing art is a different color by a little bit. Yeah, I use my shirt. Yeah, But I mean, these are, in any case, going to be better than the other glasses I was using. Because my previous lenses I'd had for like 15 years. So they were, they had like cracks and stuff. Which is why I was like, we need to go to the optometrist. That's fair, Arya. Yeah, it happens. Like, but I got two sets of new frames with my new prescription, which really isn't that much different than my old prescription. But I got these ones, and I'm trying to get used to the bigger lenses because the other ones I have are like thin rectangles, so I can look over and under them. These ones are big enough that like I can't really do that. And what that means is that I feel a lot shorter when I wear them. And like the ground feels closer because I can't look under my glasses, so it's also being altered, and it's so weird. It messes with my head. Yeah. Like my vision isn't that bad, so it's not super drastic. But it is enough that like sometimes I get up and I'm like, ugh, where am I? Yeah, this time I got some frames off of a website. And they're both great, so I'll probably stick with that. But I got 2 sets of glasses with the prescription lenses and everything for under $100, which is really good. So I didn't know this when I got them, but apparently it's the same site that Cap uses for his glasses, so it can come recommended by both of us. Are you mostly dry? Because if I try to sand you when you're wet, you're gonna throw a hissy fit. Correct, Shawnee. Alright. So you guys can see my really technical way that I was doing this. Which is really just sanding this and then getting the powder off. Yeah, I like them. I did need to figure out my what's the word for it? The like pupil distance measurement, because my prescription didn't have that on it. So I just used an app and that seemed to do fine to measure it. So that purple is still throwing a hissy fit a little bit. Yeah, that thing. Which none of my prescriptions had. Which is so funny because I did find my old prescriptions so I could bring them in. And just to let the optometrist know and stuff. But so I had my old prescriptions and I looked at them and that number wasn't on my old ones either. Which is probably partially because they want you to buy from their shop, right? The optometrist does. So if they don't put that on there, you're more likely to do that. But yeah, I used a just an iPhone app and that seemed fine. Yeah, so now the colors are a little gungy, but we've got a lot smoother texture here. So that'll look nicer. I think we really only have one more layer on these guys, and then we can get to doing the colored pencil bit. I think, especially since I just had a snack, I think we'll be good to go for a little bit. Because the real reason why I would need to end early would be to eat lunch, but I just had a little snack, so we should be good. And I do know what I'm eating for lunch already, so. Because I have leftovers that I made the other night. Well, leftovers from what I made the other night. Okay. Are there any other spots that I think are really bad? I don't think so. I think filling these in with one more layer and then we're set on that. So I don't see anywhere that's really ugly. Except for maybe right here. But I think that's actually good. Okay. Oh, I made some pasta when I got home on Wednesday from work. And that was just like a kitchen sink pasta. So I used some stuff around the house that we needed to use. So I used 2 different shapes of pasta because we had 2, half-finished pasta bags. I used some leeks that we had in the fridge. I used some grape tomatoes, which didn't really need to be used, but we had a lot of them. And I blistered those to help make the sauce. I used a shallot because we had a shallot hanging around. I used a can of black olives. What else did I use? Some butter and some Parmesan cheese in there. I think that's it. There was other stuff, like I could have put more leeks in there because we had more leeks, and I could have put some other stuff that was hanging around, but Yeah, our mushrooms weren't good anymore. Otherwise, I would have put mushrooms in it, Sleepy. But they should not have been used. I should not have eaten them, so I didn't. But my brother has class on Wednesdays this semester, and since I had work, he brought me home during his class break and was like, "I don't know what I'm gonna do for dinner. I don't know when I have time." I was like, I need to make something for myself anyway, so I'll just make something." Because I was just gonna make pasta with like the leeks that are in there because I think we need to use them. So that's what I did. And there's still some left over, so. But it is not a high protein meal, which is why I decided to have a protein bar. As I do have a good amount of protein in my breakfast, but since we've been doing less protein overall, I think that's part of why I was so hungry. Yes, definitely Sleepy. I do garlic butter noodles a lot, because again, my family was a butter family. Well, my mom was a butter person, and she was the one who cooked. But you do some butter, and you do some salt, and you do some garlic powder. I don't know that I've had no yolk egg noodles. I have had egg noodles, which are also banging. My dad also, like, just in general, my dad and my mom grew up very differently in, like, lifestyle-wise. So my dad has a lot of, like, quote-unquote poor people food that he would feed us when mom was out of town. So, like, one of the things that I still want to eat when I'm sick is, saltine and margarine or butter sandwiches with ramen. You put a slab of butter between two saltine crackers and you squish them together, and then you dip them into your ramen broth. Because, like, that's a lot of good calories for when your body is fighting something, you know? Yeah, like, is it good for you? Probably not, but it's good for my soul, and that's more important, you know? Alright, that texture is beautiful, so this was the right call. I think I've figured out how I need to do this in the future, which is good, because I do have 3 more journals like this sitting around that I can decorate with these. Yep, for sure, Shawnee. You can get salted and unsalted, but salted is more common. You have to specifically look for unsalted if you want it. Yeah. Although we've been getting fancy real Irish butter from Costco lately, which is good. I can see why it's a big deal. Yeah, pretty much what Shawnee said. That's also fair, Sleepy. We, I don't know what I was gonna say. It's gone. Oh, we always had, like, bouillon cubes that we used. Which is, like, not as good as soup mix, in my opinion. Like, it tastes different. It's good as a base, but on its own, it's not as good as, like, a soup mix is. Because my mom would make that for me when I wasn't feeling well. Yep, Kerrygold is what we've been getting lately, and yeah, it's a lot better. We have some, or had some par-baked sourdough bread too, so I made one of those and just slapped a bunch of the Kerrygold on it the other day and just ate that, and it was delicious. Like, the par-baked bread is like, it's aight, it's not great, but... Oh, that makes sense, Kvelds. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are a very salty nation in general. Um, and I am even saltier than that which I suspect, as we've discussed previously on stream, I suspect is related to some sort of dysautonomia that I have. As like my salt levels always come back fine and my blood pressure's really good, so. Of course, Diabra. Thank you for sharing your butter with me. I think doing it this way, where I put the white layer down first, ended up with it a lot smoother than the front side where we didn't do that. I think that's the play, and then sanding down in between layers is the right bet, seems like. So that's good. We figured it out. Yeah, exactly, Kefeld. So like, even when I was, have I told this on stream? Maybe I have. I ate so much Play-Doh as a kid because it was salty. It got to the point where the ladies at church who were in charge of taking care of the kids started making homemade Play-Doh, which is just like salt dough, because they couldn't keep up with my Play-Doh habit. Like, I was costing the church too much in how much Play-Doh I would eat. Because it was salty. And I liked it. I also, since I was little, have been just eating salt out of the salt crock, you know? Part of that is also going to be that my dad has a low salt diet and has since I was a kid. So I probably wasn't getting as much salt as, like, a normal person would need. Oh my god, that's so funny, Shawnee. And so Shawnee coded. Like, yeah, same Felds. I have, like a little Ziploc bag of salt on, like, my bedside table. Because sometimes you just need some salt. And honestly, I've been feeling a lot better since I've been drinking electrolytes more often, too. So I think that's probably related. And again, my like blood pressure and everything is fine, even though I do have a family history of high blood pressure. So I think that says something. Heck yeah, Sleepy. I also, like, when I make popcorn, it is like 90% salt. Like, there's so much salt on there. That's the whole point. Like, I do like popcorn in and of itself, but part of the point of popcorn is a salt vehicle, you know? Also, Crunchy. Same, Sleepy! Like, I'm sorry, but if there isn't enough salt on the popcorn that my tongue feels weird after I eat it, then it's not right. Yeah! How did we end up like the same person, Sleepy? So funny. Perfect. Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to share. I'm smarter than that. I do want to get some, like, because for a while we had, like, a jar of ranch seasoning. That's, like, just powdered ranch, but it has, like, a milk product in it, so you can't keep it forever. But I would put that on popcorn in addition to the salt, and that fucking slapped. Oh, excellent, Aria. Good work. Heck yeah, Tomato. Play-Doh eaters unite. I should make that a sticker. I also ate ants as a kid, because some of them tasted like limes. I don't know why they tasted like limes, but Oh yeah, absolutely, Sleepy. I'll share. It is also a good texture, I think, tomato. Like that kind of gritty feeling. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have Have you had matcha, Sleepy? Because there is nothing closer to like fresh grass taste than matcha, in my opinion. Yeah. There it is. People always ask me like, "What does matcha taste like?" Because I've had it, like, and at my college we had somebody who was licensed is not the correct term, but who was like an actual proper tea ceremony artist, um, who invited me to do tea ceremony with her. So I've had like real matcha, and yeah, it tastes green. That's what matcha tastes like. It tastes like green, which like a lot of people don't like, but sometimes it's good. You just have to be prepared for it. That teacher was so nice to me too, the one who did the tea ceremony stuff. She lent me a bunch of her like traditional kimonos to do a school presentation with when I was in college. Because I did, I've told you guys that I'm like a trained fiber artist. One of the research projects I did for my fiber class, one of my fiber classes, was about, well, I did multiple, about different kinds of kimono, which is interesting. Which is also, I think it was in Matto's stream when he was playing whatever that game is called that I can't remember the name of. It starts with an S, and I want to call it Sakura, but that's not right. Sekiro. I always want to call it Sakura, and I know that's not right. But that's why I had all of those weird random facts about warrior kimono. Excellent, Sleepy. Love that. And that's Ferrickfeld's for sure. Like, it is like a very specific flavor, you know? And if you don't like it, you don't like it. My mom also didn't like it. I did like it, but my mom came to do tea ceremony class. Well, not class. We went to her class and she had them practice on us once. Um. Yeah, see, earthy I don't necessarily like, so like beet earthy I'm not a big fan of, but that's because beets taste gritty to me, and it's not even a real texture thing. Like, the taste is gritty. I don't know how to explain this, but I have the odd feeling if anybody understands, it will be you guys. The same with pears. Pears taste gritty. I do like rose scent a lot, though. Like, that's one of my usual ones. Oh, Sleepy, actually, I should tell you something. I made an unwise purchasing decision the other day, and I bought some more perfume. But one of them is like a limited time specific scent that they don't send samples out of. And it has a scent in it that I'm not a huge fan of. So if I don't like it, I'm going to give it to you. Because I figure you'll have fun with it if I don't like it. I'm just not a big patchouli fan, and patchouli is in it. And I know you like patchouli, so... welcome back, Tens. Yeah, it's from Imaginary Authors, which is the same company that I told you about. But it was like their April Fool's joke, because they always do like a fake scent. to do their April Fool's joke. And this year they made it real because they thought that was the funnier joke, was to like have everybody expect this to not be real, and then it was real. And I was ordering another scent anyway because there are a couple that I wanted from them that I hadn't got yet. And I saw it and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get myself a little treat. Fuck it. Which was not a great idea according to my wallet, but was a good idea according to my soul. So, as long as I don't make that too much of a habit, I think we'll be okay. Oh my gosh, I have been making like more purchases since I stopped my SSRI. And I know that that's why. So now that I've noticed it, I'm like, we need to be more cautious. My brain's like, give us that serotonin. We had a bunch of it. Where'd it go? It's so funny. Yeah, I'm glad you did like it, Sleepy. And I mean, like, I know other people who. Oh no, I didn't see that there was a redeem for that. Thank you for checking with me, Shawnee. Whom was it for? It was Sleepy. Perfect. Just need to know who to ask for which side. What was I saying? I don't remember. It's gone. Something about perfume, I'm sure. Man, they were sold out of one of the scents that I wanted, though, so I'm gonna have to do another order sometime, and that means I'll need to buy a second thing. So that I can get free shipping. Oh no! No, you're all good, Shawnee. Like, I will lose my train of thought all on my own. Like, I don't need help with it, especially when I'm streaming. Like, if I'm talking to somebody, I'm way more, like, talking out loud, I'm way more likely to lose my train of thought. You can ask Cap, because I'll, like, start talking with him, and I will lose my train of thought, like, partway through. I'll be like, wait. Yeah, I considered sending you a photo of my perfumes and making you choose what I was going to smell like today, Sleepy. Okay, left or right? Yeah, I figured you'd have fun with it, Sleepy. Left. Open your heart to the changes coming into your life. I'm trying to find a place where I can put that where it's not completely hidden. And yeah, same tens. I always clean like my stainless steel Yeti and stuff with a little bit of salt and a little bit of baking soda on the inside because it gets rid of that like tea patina way better than anything else. Okay, I just finished pink. Shawnee has a great point about soup of change, I think. Let's set that right there. Okay. So we need to do yellow, purple, and aqua. Let's do purple. I just opened that. I remember. Ah, I see. Yes. I also, okay. I will say that this one might be the universe double downing on what my tarot deck told me this morning, because I got the Tower reversed as my daily draw today, which is like, you're gonna have big change, girly, and I'm like, I don't want that. Yeah, the affirmation deck is like, pull an affirmation card. That's this. I could also add tarot if we wanted that. I have a bunch of different tarot decks. Although I'm not one of those people who has all of the meanings memorized. I know some of them, like, based on vibes, but... Dark blue one. I think yes. I'm pretty sure I have a nice dark blue. I will check after I finish painting this cat. But we could drag out tarot sometime. I have been meaning, like, I started, but I ran out of, like, time for it, honestly. But I am working on putting all of the interpretations for each of my tarot decks into one book so that I can bring it with me. I also just bought another tarot deck recently, but that was Goose's fault. Goose enabled me. Oh, oiter. I'll drink an oiter. Even though I just did. I'll drink a more oiter. Love an oiter. Oh, I do. Yeah, I don't know that I have like a nice bright blue like that. What I would classify as azure. But I will look and see what blues we have and you can pick which one you like. Oh, there's just... Okay. You guys want to see the card I... Oh no, that's not the card I pulled last time. Okay, never mind. Never mind, ignore me. Okay, so I have this blue, which is not very dark. I have this one, which is kind of purpley blue. And a bit darker. I think that's mostly the same color, but this is another like brighty blue. And very similar. Oh, there's my old wolf card. I just got jump scared by me at 19 years old. I also have a silver, which I guess could technically qualify as blue in some ways, but I don't think that's what you want. So yeah, those are the blues for glitter that I have. You can pick which one of those you like. I'm just throwing shit all over the place. As you do. I also have like a plain dark blue that I will throw in for free. Good, Shawnee. I'll do this. Oh, I also need to do a hydrate for Shawnee. That's right. Sippy, sippy. There you go. I don't know. I think Shawnee is pretty good at batting the negative thoughts away when they're coming at 90 miles per hour, but Shawnee just has more than most people. All right, Aria, if you don't tell me which one you want, then I will just pick one. But like, it's kind of like, you know those automatic ball machines that they have at batting cages? I think Shawnee has like 7 of those trained at them at any given moment. Which, like, no matter how good of a swinger you are, you aren't going to be able to get all of those. Some of them are going to hit you in the butt. Like, that's just the way it works. I'm going to go with the brighter blue, because I think that's closer to like an azure color, which was the vibe, so... We'll do this one. Yeah. Not the pineapple kind of swinging. Or the, I guess, dance swinging. I feel like baseball players probably do have practice swinging multiple ways. That just seems like the right vibe, you know? I need to put more chapstick on in a second. I can tell. My yips is dry. Exactly, Shawnee. Yes. Okay, so I don't like baseball, but I come from a baseball family, so I've been forcibly trained in various baseball language. There we go, a little glitter star. Into the bucket it goes. But yeah, pinch hitter is basically just a person who comes in to um, bat for the pitcher, um, so that they don't have to be good at more than one thing, basically. That's so fair, Sleepy. I was not really a sports kid. I did figure skating for a bit, and I played volleyball in middle school. And that's the extent of my sport. I guess I also did yoga, but that's not a sport. You know, like it is physical activity, but it's not really a sport. Your lightsaber. You're the lightsaber. Fair. I watched hockey in college once like I moved up to Alaska because it is big here too. Because again, we're basically just Canada without healthcare. Um, so I do enjoy watching a bit of hockey, but I did not have to play it. So. Oh, fair tense. Again, I only kind of pay attention. My brother is very, very baseball oriented, but I only half listen, so. Yeah. Like, I don't get why people think. Yeah, you did. I also thought that would be really funny, honestly, Sleepy. And I also often replace words in that I mean with words that sound similar. My brain does that too. Um, but that would also be really funny, honestly, if you did that in person to somebody. No, I said hockey. Yeah, I know you did. I kind of just took it as like that was the vibe in which you said it, you know? Like when you're talking about a good coffee you had and somebody's like, well, I don't drink coffee. Like, oh, hockey. Well, I don't like hockey. You know? I need to stop messing with that until it dries a little bit. That's a weird texture. Ooh, out the right. Yeah, that's better. Hi, Liv. Good to see you. Thank you, Shawnee. Where'd all that piss come from? It's Lib. Yeah, so many kitties. There's kitties on the other side of this, too. Even more kitties. can flip this over and show you after I get this guy done. I think part of the key to getting a smooth texture on this one is to like oversaturate the nib a little bit. Which some of them do better than the others. The orange one is very, very happy to do that. These other ones aren't so much. Thank you. It's for Adam, so you'll get to see it in person. Oh yeah. Here's the other side. So many kitties. Ooh, yeah, it would, Sleepy. I was considering if these turned out in a way that I really liked. I was considering scanning and I can speak. I was considering scanning them and making them into a washi tape, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. I think if I wanted to do that, I might just do that with, because I did this digitally first to get the shapes the way that I wanted. So I might just do it with the digital bits instead of with the physical painted ones. Or I might do a watercolor version of them. I don't know. Okay, I have one more purple cat to do. The one on the bottom. Yeah, because I do have another file I'm prepping to do washi tape with. And I do think that there's one other design I want to do with that. And then I was thinking this one might be a cute washi tape. But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, washi tape will happen at some point. I just need to like get to a point where I can order it. Because we did a while back we did the little ducks, rubber ducks with the button bubbles. That one's gonna be a washi tape, if you will, if you catch my drift there. And then I was thinking that I would do one with like the sewing accessories that I have on the So Busy sticker sheet, because I think that would be really cute. And like I would use that. I love that. Oh, Sleepy, I took a photo of something in one of my games yesterday and I forgot to send it to you. But I've been playing, if you guys are friends with me on Steam, you may have seen that I started playing Spirit City, which I've had for ages and I just haven't used. But then Cap sent me a reel with one of the little guys in it because I love little guys. I was like, okay, I do actually have to play this game now. So I got one of the little guys yesterday and it's a little trash raccoon. It's really a Tanuki, but you know, same difference. Close enough. Oh, you certainly can, Shawnee. Yeah, I figured you would, Sleepy. Because, like, it's just a raccoon with big balls, and that just seems like your vibe, honestly. Yeah, so you guys can add me if you don't have me on Steam already. And I will accept your little requests after stream. Because I do have Spirit City playing in my room on my Steam Deck right now. Yeah, that does not surprise me in the slightest, Sleepy. Do you need to buckle down and get some different work done today, actually? I have a project I'm trucking on, but it's secret, so you guys don't get to know. And like honestly, I get the Nook obsession. Like you guys have seen I have a DILF problem. And the problem is that I'm not kissing more DILFs. I mean, there is one specific DILF, you guys all know that, but Like I've been watching Stars play Fields of Mystria, and there's a dad character in that you can't romance that keeps doing dad jokes, and he has a mustache, and every time he makes a stupid joke, I'm like, I want that man carnally. It's just, I know what I'm about, okay? But the reason I say this is because Tom Nook is a daddy for reals. That's fair, Tens. But I will say that the mortgage simulator or the thing that makes it not as much of a mortgage simulator is that you don't get charged interest. Um, yeah, exactly. Shawnee gets it. Although I miss my Delph in specific. He's at work. Yeah, so the like in world lore around Tom Nook is that he adopted Timmy and Tommy, so they aren't like his biological kids, but they were like orphaned in the city and he adopted them. It's also canon that he brings people coffee back to the office from Brewster in New Leaf. He brings Isabel coffee. And like all the other people on the shop street. Yeah, he's actually like really sweet and nice, and I don't stand for Tom Nook slander in this house. Like, yes, he has changed a lot from the original games, but so have all of the other characters, and for some reason we've let the other characters become sweet, but we always have to remember that Tom Nook was a capitalist, even though his entire backstory is that he was tired of being a capitalist, which is why he moved back to a small town and started giving back to the community. But I digress. Good, Sleepy. But yeah, he like the character progression there is actually what people accuse him of, but they don't know the lore. They don't know the lore. And that's part of why he gives you loans without, and like a house and stuff, without charging you interest for it. Move back from the city. Yeah, exactly. He did kind of a Scrooge situation, except he realized it himself without having to see ghosts. Yeah, that's because you're a slut, Sleepy. Like, you're a slut who knows what you're about, but I think we all know. Yeah, you don't, because I'm right. I'm not lying. It's not slander, it's the truth. Oh, good. Good work, Tomato. I'm proud of you. I gotta do my little workout tomorrow. Because since I worked on the days that I usually work out this week, I didn't do that. That's a part of my tomorrow tasks. Sleepy, are you planning to stream tomorrow, actually? Aqua. It's Aqua time. Okay, cool. I'll just plan that into my day. Because I didn't get to go yesterday because I was busy being a sad sack. I mean, that's not fair. I was aware that I needed some time to myself because I was grieving. It's fine. Just don't want anybody to think I'm being serious. I'm not. It does feel like a dredge day today, I think. That will be good for some of the projects I need to do in the background here. I will probably do exercise in the morning tomorrow then. I can be free to hang out with Sleepy. I do think on some of these you can see a little bit of the white peeking out, but I don't think it's bad enough that it's an issue. Yeah, I heard Sleepy because I was on call with Kat when he was hanging out in your stream, which I'm sure shocks everybody in this chat. I was on call with my boyfriend yesterday. And I was like, oh, how's zombies going? And Cap was like, zombies? And I was like, well, that's what Sleepy's Going Live message said. That they were gonna play more of their zombie game. And Cap was like, nah, they're playing Gordlets. I was like, oh, well, then Sleepy lied. Which, you're perfectly allowed to change your mind. It was just a funny little exchange. Well, good, Tens, because Tomato takes commissions for them. I have also added the Ko-fi link to Tomato's command. So we can use that as well. And I have mine, which is an emote, and then I also commissioned one of Cap, which is the new stare emote. So that you can get that dad stare the look whenever you need it. Actually, I still have him on the layout here. Look at him! Isn't he so cute? Look at him, he's a baby. Yeah, I stand my friends loudly. Just how it works. And honestly, Cap, the one that I got for Cap, is so good because I didn't have like a solidified character design or anything like I do vaguely with my little possum guy. So I kind of just sent Tomato a vibe. Like a sheet of vibes. So I sent like Cap's little Discord image and the art I did of the capybara based off of him for my stuff and that kind of stuff. And Tomato just freaking nailed it. Look at it. It's so perfect. Because I wanted him to be doing the like over the glasses disappointed look. And so and Tomato actually did the animation too. Which is why we have the animated emote of him blinking at us slowly. Because I figured he would get a lot of use out of that and we all would be amused by it. Yeah, yeah. I know that you helped. Tomato has mentioned that every time I said that he did a good job with it. He's like, well, Sleepy helped. So, but yeah, it's perfect. And some of you don't know how perfect it is because you haven't seen Cap's face, but I promise. Promise. It's perfect. Yeah, for sure, Sleepy. And I think that's just being the partner of an artist anyway. So, like, Cap and I are in a particular kind of arrangement where we're both artists, but we do very different kinds of art. But we still ask each other stuff, you know? So we'll be like, does this look weird? Does that look okay? What do you think about this? And, like, send each other little sketches and stuff and help each other out to figure out what can be improved and stuff like that. Actually, both Cap and I, before we were even dating, we sent each other our logo designs to ask for like help with it to see what it thought. So both he had influence on my logo design and I had influence on his logo design before we were even dating. So like it's just like it. Yeah, for sure, Teds. You just need those people in your life who you can like bring a half-baked idea that's still kind of gooey on the inside and go help, and they'll help you put it in the oven to finish it, you know? That doesn't necessarily mean that like the person does the exact same thing as you, but you still trust their opinion, you know? Okay. Brain function. Who is she? Do I have those colored pencils out here? Or are they in my room? I have those colored pencils, but those... Oh, here they are. They're just underneath there. So I also happen to have Posca colored pencils. So I feel like we should just make this all Posca. And I will... This is still drying a little bit, so I'm going to set it out of the way. But we can test some colors on here since I have the... There's also just one of my hairs in there. Lovely. One of the problems with long hair and curly hair is that it sticks onto literally everything. Okay. Good, Sleepy. It's like if you made any sort of art, you're an artist. Pasta colored pencils. Yeah, I feel like this is the pasta colored pencil, actually. This one right here. That's pasta colored, like fresh pasta. For sure. Don't though, okay? These are expensive. You decide what, because I just want to do like a little bit of an outline on these guys, I think. Just especially with this purple, it's very tonally similar to the craft paper, so I want to have a little differentiation there. So I think just doing like little outline is the call. But I need to decide what color I'm doing. These are very similar on this paper. I also have like a pale color, but I think that's going to end up being the same issue. Yeah, where it's very tonally similar, so that doesn't help me. I think either of these will work. I kind of like the redder one, so let's do that. Cool punk. We love some punks. Let's see about yellow. That is pointless. Closer. I mean, technically it's okay to eat, but that doesn't mean you should. I don't really like any of those yellows for that. What if I do like a green? Right? I do really like just how like scratch papers or like the color or the paper towels that people use to do like clean up their brushes and stuff end up looking. I think I like the lime green even though it isn't like super different. Let me see this because that's gonna be perfect for that. Yep. Yeah. Because even though that isn't super different, it doesn't need to be that different because the yellow stands out really nicely there. So we'll do that. That color. Let's see that orange because yeah, that's gonna be like pretty similar. Yeah. I kind of like that red. What about this one? What about you? Yeah, I think that's good for that. Okay. So I got purple. I got the aqua. Got one for yellow. Got one for orange. I need to do one for pink also. I feel like eating things you're not supposed to is a vibe for many creatures, actually. Yeah, that's why I say like my other personas if I have plotted that out at all whatsoever, but that's why my other one is a goat. Specifically a fainting goat. Just in case anybody was wondering. I don't know what I want to do for the pink. I don't really like the like pale pink that I have with that. I think maybe this looks good actually. Okay. I think that's that. I think we figured it out. Let me put together a little bento box of color pencils again. Yeah, goats will eat like anything for realsies. Interesting, Sleepy. So I think we found a new punishment for Sleepy that will work. Oh, I haven't done the dots on this. I can do that after I finish this, that's fine. That's the other thing I need to do. I am thinking I might get some matte spray sealant for this. Just because it'll keep the paint from like chipping off. Like I don't think that's a huge concern, but we did do a number of layers, so. But see, look at that. I remember salad fingers. And the lesser known parody banana fingers. No, I just had a strange thought. You know, for anybody who has seen everything everywhere all at once, is the hot dog universe basically just like salad finger universe? Do you think salad finger is the same in there? Or do you think that they gave him like real hands because that was creepier? Did you watch it again? If you're talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once, then yes. But if you're talking about Salad Fingers, I think you should maybe question your taste there. Um, yeah, you're welcome. If I was a man in ancient Greece, I would be revered for these thoughts. But instead, I'm here cursing you all on the internet with the random things that my brain makes me think of. You should keep it that way, Shawnee. It is unsettling and strange. I think if you've avoided it this long, you should keep up that streak. Yeah, everything, everywhere, all at once. I like saying that every single time is gonna drive me nuts. Good movie. I enjoyed that. Same, Shawnee. I actually avoided Homestuck for the most part. Like, I recognize it sometimes. I never read it, but I was on Tumblr when it was very popular, so I like have approximate knowledge of things. Enough to recognize when people dress up as the trolls from it for, like, there are some people who dress up like that for the Renaissance Fair here. Because we don't really have, like, conventions the same way that other places do. So. Yeah, see, I think those outlines just make it even better. I think outlines were the right call. Good job, Katie. I don't know that I'm going to finish all this on stream, though, because I should go eat lunch at some point. Or maybe what I should do is stop doing this and go eat lunch. Because I am still hungry. And I know that everyone here will encourage me to go eat lunch. By encourage me, I guess I mean tell my boyfriend on me. Yeah, for sure, Shawnee. Because there are definitely some big issues that you can get from that if you don't use the right kind. Yeah, I remember Homestar Runner too. Labor Day is Labor Day. You think if I wanted to, and this is good knowledge for future products, I could just shade the paint with colored pencil, which was part of the reason we were testing this. So that'll be good. Oh, good to know for future plans. Yeah, I think my worry is more that people aren't always smart enough to use non-toxic paint. Because that has continued to be an issue with sport weirdos who color their faces and stuff. Or they'll use things that you aren't supposed to use next to your eyes and stuff. And then they do that anyway. And then they get some in their eyes, and then they get an infection, you know? Because if people are good at anything, it's ignoring the rules. Even if the rules are for their safety. Okay. I think that I'm going to do these paws with this color and then outline the ones on the other side, and then I will call it. I think that's the vibe. Sleepy. Yeah. Oh man, Twitch updated their like terms of service for streamers, and they used AI to summarize the new like contract in every single spot. So I spent a lot of my morning this morning reading through that whole thing because I didn't trust the AI summarizations. Like, if you have to use AI to do that, I'm concerned. Your lawyer should be able to do that. Whoever is, like, drafting these gigantic, long things, like, that's part of their job. Why are you doing AI? I don't trust you. I also hate that AI has stolen the sparkle emoji. Like, they can't take it from me. I'm going to keep using her because she's beautiful, and she doesn't deserve to be manhandled by AI bros like this. But it annoys me to no end that they took one of the most beautiful emojis out there and turned it into AI bullshit. Like, it's supposed to signal AI, and I'm like, no, it's supposed to signal sparkles. You're wrong. Leave her alone. I guess I take it back. I won't just do the outline of the paws on the other side. We're also going to do the dots on this side after I do that so that I can leave them to dry and then go back to outlining this later today, probably. I do have some furniture to put together, and I need to do laundry, and I need to organize those cards. Yes, that one, Tomato. She's beautiful and she doesn't deserve this. Oh no, that sucks, Sleepy. I don't get why we're still pretending like AI is good. It can't do anything. Like, there was a post I saw on Tumblr yesterday, I think I reblogged it, about how the way they have AI now, it can't even do math because it's not reading the input as integers, it's reading it as like word values instead of integers. So it's giving you an answer based on what is often seen with those other words and not based on the integers, which is like the good thing about computers is that they can read integers and do really crazy math problems. Because you just need to program them to do it correctly and then they'll do it for you. So basically you made computers worse. You gave a calculator anxiety. For no purpose. Ridiculous. Oh lord. Oh no. That's bad, Tens. That does, however, lower my fear of being audited. So that's great. Not that I think I'm a big one to be audited anyway. I'm not that interesting. But, like, that's bad. Don't do that. Don't trust AI. Just don't. Well, specifically, don't trust generative AI. There's plenty of good AIs in the world. Oh lord. No. That's bad. Alright. Horrid. Horrid. I think if I take this and make this, it will stay out of the way. Yeah. And then I'm grungy on this side, actually. Maybe I'll do another layer there. We'll see. I think that's probably going to happen anyway, especially on the yellow, just because it's a pale color, which is why I probably should get the sealant. I bet if I put in an order for pickup at Michael's, my brother would have time to stop by. I will ask him about that, because I don't have any like here, but I think just like some basic matte spray sealant will be fine. But they won't ship that to me, so it's not like I can order it. I have to get it in a stove. Exactly, Shawnee. Exactly like that. For real, tens. It's ridiculous. And it's because of capitalism. That's the reason we can't do it. Because, like, all of our senators and shit are up for purchase. Because TurboTax wants us all to suffer and pay them more for it. Yep. Yeah. It's great. The person who did my taxes, because I did pay to have them done because I didn't really want to deal with it this year. I forgot what I was going to say after that. See what I mean? I'm talking out loud and I immediately forget everything that I was going to say. That doesn't happen to me usually when I'm typing. And I don't know why. Probably because I have like a line of what I was actually saying. Oh, I remember now. Okay, I got there. But the place I got my taxes done and like the person, they were like, you can pay us an extra $40 and we'll give you a guarantee. So if we made a mistake, we pay all the legal fees. Like if we made a mistake and you get audited, we will pay all the legal fees. And I was like, I'm not in the danger zone for that. Like, I got $44 back from the government. Nobody gives a shit. Like, I don't think anybody's gonna waste the time on auditing me. And even if they did, I have all of my stuff put together. So like, it's not like I was lying or anything. So, it's fine. Because I am very organized with stuff like that. I'm good at being organized with paperwork. I have my little binder with all my stuff in it. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. That's fair, tens. Like, there's a lot of stupid shit that Reagan did that we're still paying for, and it's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, that is a specific example of just how stupid everything is, honestly. The other thing that drives me nuts is that he qualified, like, this is very small. But, yes, I will say this straight out loud. Reagan's grave is a gender-neutral bathroom. And yeah, what Ten said, they did try to go metric in the 70s, 80s. And like many things, got killed, even though it was a good idea, because people have egos. I don't know. But Reagan classified ketchup as a vegetable so that they could skimp on school lunches. And that's like the one, like, if you ask for an example of why Reagan is evil, there are a lot of examples to give. A lot. But that one in specific, I think, encapsulates the entirety of it. Yeah. Same with pizza sauce, also. That counts as a vegetable so that they didn't have to pay for more vegetables for children at school. Because conservatives are dickbags, that's why. They don't actually care about people, they care about controlling people. And they have to phrase all of their, general bullshit in a way that makes it seem like they care about children, but they don't. They just care about having control over others. And it's like super obvious. And they don't care that they are being contradictory with their own values that they're saying. Like, they don't give a shit. They just want control over people. Because really, they're just weirdly abusive boyfriends who are trying to trap you in a relationship. But the relationship is a religion you didn't agree to. Yeah, parental choice is a big scary one for sure. If you see people talking about parental choice or parental rights, nah, bad. That really just means parental rights to fuck up their kids. It comes up a lot with homeschooling stuff, especially in the US, because each state gets to qualify what the regulations for homeschooling are, and the majority of states in the United States don't have any regulations whatsoever for checking in on kids who are being homeschooled, which means that you can, as a parent, basically trap your child at home and indoctrinate them completely without anybody ever going to check on the kid to see if they're okay. Like, for a lot of the states in the US, you don't even need to tell a school that you're doing it. You can just pull your kid out of school. Like, you don't need to give any warning or anything. Which is not great for kids. Especially kids who end up in abusive households that are more likely to do that to them. So, yeah, agreed, tens. Concerned citizens. It's just like, freaking ridiculous. I also hate, in general, that we have to have, like, a full-on dictionary of things to, like, keep track of what conservatives are trying to do to us, because they've realized that the majority of people don't agree with them, so they start using really specific word choices so that it doesn't sound bad on the surface. And it's just fucking obnoxious. Like, it's exhausting to keep up with. Which is the point. They want us to get tired so that we stop paying attention to it. Stupid. I hate it here, just in case anybody was wondering. I think that's pretty obvious. Hi, Aiden. Yes, mini cat. So there's some on this side, and then there's more on this side. Look at that. So many keys. And everything is going to have a little outline like this, but I'm doing the dots on this side, and then I think we're going to call it, because I should go eat lunch. and do other things with my life, you know? Like remember to start the laundry that I wanted to do. Yeah, for real, Tens. Actually, there's a pickup truck in our neighborhood that has an American flag on the back, and for a while had a Stand with Israel flag. And they changed the Stand with Israel flag, and I couldn't see what it was when we drove past the other day. And I'm like, I need to know what that is so that I know what new thing I should avoid. It might just be like something that is way less subtle than Stand with Israel, but if you have an American flag and a Stand with Israel flag, really you're just saying that you like colonialism. Like, that's all you're doing. I'm gonna do heart up here. I did all the purple ones on the front as hearts too. That's why I'm doing it this way. Do a bunch of little dots. Yay, this is for Adam, who got me the Posca pens as a gift. And one of the things that I wanted to do with them was decorate these journals that I got. I have more journals as well, because I was going to do them as gifts for family for Christmas, but there was some multiple snafus. With getting those delivered, so I didn't get to do that. But it's fine. Because now we can do one for Adam. And Adam gets to be my little guinea pig for seeing how I can do these in the best way possible. I love that I meant to do that all on the same spot and definitely didn't. It's fine. I will probably go over the dots again. I did go over the dots twice on the front too. So that will probably end up happening. Make the colors nice and bright. Yeah, exactly, Aiden. And to be fair, Adam also gives me giftsies a lot, so we kind of do that to each other. We are also going to continue rotating this like a pizza for a while. As I'm very careful to not put my hand in wet paint. Oh geez, yeah, Tens. That would be great, Aiden. I would love that. You have my address and everything, right? If you want my home address and not the P.O. box. Which I think you have because I've sent you stuff before, but... Yeah, what Feld said. And to be fair, there's been a widespread work against being good at critical thinking, which I will say, this is like relatively small beans compared to the other stuff we were talking about. But that's one of the reasons that I think the quote-unquote discourse around not liking English classes is really scary. Because people will be like, oh, the curtains were just fucking blue, it doesn't matter. But, like, the class isn't teaching you about, like, figuring out what the color blue can mean to somebody, right? It's telling you to look at a text critically and see what kind of themes and meanings could be in there. So what is trying to be expressed to you, even if it's not explicit. And deciding that that is pointless and not worthwhile and that you shouldn't bother with that is bad. So work at your English class harder, okay? doing literary analysis is actually important. I know it feels stupid, especially when you're a kid, but it does actually serve an important purpose. Yeah, 100% Felds. Yeah. And I think a lot of that, especially in the US specifically, is done on purpose. I think they purposefully don't tell people what the point is. Um, and a lot of school districts will actually keep teachers from telling the point. Because they don't want us to actually know what we're missing. And I know that not everybody here is from the US, but I am from the US, which is why I'm saying that, because I don't necessarily know what it's like to go to school in the rest of the world, right? Because I went to school here. So it's not that I don't realize that this is important everywhere. I'm just realizing that I am not the person to speak on other places because I don't go there. Yeah, for sure, tens. I think actually. Although I will say, as somebody who does quilting, figuring out the geometry and stuff is actually very important. You know? It is actually helpful to know how to figure out how much triangle you need. But I think one of the things that people rail against in public school systems, and I think this is a valid criticism in a lot of ways, is that you aren't taught things that you need for life. So you in the US, you aren't taught how to do your taxes or balance a checkbook or anything like that. And part of that is because the funding for those classes was cut. Just that used to be a regular thing that was taught in schools, and the Republicans cut them. But I think another issue is that it's not expressed why you're learning certain things, like what we're talking about. So, like, you are learning things that are important for life, but people are not expressing that to you in a way that makes sense to you when you're growing up. So it feels pointless. And if anything feels pointless, you aren't going to want to do it, right? Because we're humans. We like doing things for a reason. And that's pretty common across all age groups. Like, yes, we enjoy doing things for fun too, but we like to know that if we're being forced to do busy work or something, there's a reason for it. It's the same reason why if you have time to lean, you have time to clean thing is so fucking annoying. Because it's not something that has a purpose. So yeah. Welcome to Soapbox, Katie. That's kind of what this whole stream has been, huh? Open this up and see if it feels balanced. I think we need more dots on the back side. Oh yeah, 100% tons. Like, it's the same kind of situation where religions were very gate kept a long time ago, like in the Middle Ages and stuff, because that meant that the people who were in charge and could read could control what other people were thinking and control what information they had, right? And that's true of still, even though we have better literacy rates and stuff, there's still an amount of that everywhere, where certain people want to control the kind of information that people have so that they control the populace. So, yeah. And also, yeah, exactly. A lot of schooling, even if it wasn't intentionally the purpose originally, has ended up being really good at making cogs. So people who will follow the rules and ask permission, and not go a certain way or think a certain way, or even think to think, so that it's easier to trap them into the life that capitalism needs to exist. Which we're just gonna bring this back around. Is also what the Hunger Games is about. Read the Hunger Games. Join me. Our hyperfixation. This is why I love me a good dystopia book. Because it's relevant. I guess I should carefully do some dots underneath this too. So that it doesn't feel empty when you have the band off. Hi, Cap. Good to see you. Thank you for the resub. Are you home or are you on your break? Yeah. Everybody hire Cap. He made my PNG tuber. He also made me into a possum. Ah, good. Figured I didn't hear from you, so it was probably busy enough for you to not get a break today. Okay, where else? Alright, fine. Okay, I think that's probably closer to being matchy-matchy. Maybe careful how I do this, or the elastic is gonna smear stuff. Ugh. Yeah, that feels more simpatico here. Alright, I'm gonna finish doing the outlines off stream, I think. Because that'll be a nice thing to do while I'm watching various streams. Because it's not super involved. So I can stop and be chatty in between. Let's set this down. Is it going to hit anything that isn't dry yet? No, I think we're okay if we go over there. Alright. Thanks, Aiden. I do have more journals, a couple more, so I mentioned to you guys that I had an idea for one for my cousin, and then I also had an idea that wasn't, like, for anybody, but I wanted to do, like, honeycomb and bees. So I might do that at some point. I might wait until it matches the color of the month, though, because the color of the month rules my life. I do also need to make, more color swatch cards at some point too. We might do that on stream. I don't know. I am going to need to go over this one again. I do need to get... Sorry, I'm just going to tell you guys my to-do list now. I do also need to get some spray sealant. Oh, Aiden and Sleepy. I don't know. Have you guys interacted yet? You're both my raccoon people. So Aiden is the one that I asked for Garlic's Instagram to send to Sleepy. And Sleepy is the one who gave it to me. So you guys are my raccoon people. Yes, little bees. We love bees. Let's see, this can go away. Oh, I saw another one, like a different one. Yeah, that was me, and I will have you know, Aiden, that Albie messaged me asking me why I did that. I got in trouble. What was I saying? Oh, I saw another raccoon, like a different one, washing cotton candy and losing the cotton candy, and there wasn't a happy resolution at the end, and I didn't see another video of that one, and it made me really sad. Give him his cotton candy back. He's just trying to be clean. Mean. It's mean. Oh, she was just like, why did you send that? I've been trying to convince him not to bring a raccoon into the house or something like that. And I was like, for your information, I'm the one who convinced him to not try to pet wolves. So, you're welcome. All right. We are gonna go raid a person. And I think I know who. Pizza sounds good. I get to have some leftover pasta in a bit here. Oh, all good. I'll get my attention out of you later, so. Shadi has just put the raid commands in chat. The first one has emoji that you can use anywhere on Twitch. The second one has an emote that you can use if you are subscribed to my channel, so please copy and pasta the one that is relevant to you. We are gonna go raid Rainbow because it's Rainbow. We love Rainbow. If you don't love Rainbow, you're wrong. So like fix yourself. You know? Let me get that up and loaded. Oh, good. I suggested her to apply for that key because I thought that she would like it. So, because I told me, and I was like, I don't really play games on stream, so I'm not really like the right pick for an indie game if they're trying to increase reach. But I suggested it to Rainbow because I thought she'd really like it. So. That's so cute, Tens. I didn't know that. I need to actually complete the raid command before I get distracted again. I say again as if I haven't been constantly distracted today. And always. Okay, we're gonna go raid Rainbow. Rainbow is a beautiful human and a wonderful friend and a good artist and just a general delight. So, and hi Rainbow, because I know that you check these because you told me once. Love you. So, take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves, remember that you're loved because I love you. And if you can't take care of and be kind to yourself for yourself, please do so for me because I think that you're awesome and deserve nice things, including from yourself, even on the days when it's really hard. So, let's work on being nicer to ourselves and we'll meet back here next time. I will remind you that we aren't doing Monday streams for this month. We're doing Tuesday streams. So, I'll be back on Tuesday. I'll see you Tuesday afternoon, my time. Might be a different time for you. If you want to keep track of me in a way that is easier for you, you can join our Discord that we have now. And I will let you know things, like how I said this morning that I was going to be a little bit late because I had trouble getting out of bed. So I will see you all next time. Take care of yourself, and I'll be around. You'll see me kicking about. Yep, Tuesday, not Tuesday. Tuesday. Gotta say it like that, otherwise it doesn't count. Thank you for reposting the raid command, Shawnee, because I 100% did not copy and paste that. I know how to stream. I'm a professional. Don't worry about it. All right, bye!
return to the classics.